I don't see a. Okay, now we're aired. Okay, all right. Because I'm wondering like where are we at now? Welcome aboard here on the program as we take you till I have no idea, but anyway, we got boxing tonight. I got Kansas and Marshall Tucker tomorrow night. Can't wait for that. How's that? That's at Magic City. Yeah, yeah. Well, you want to go? Okay, I don't know if you want to. I'll get you a ticket if you want to go. You all right? You're good. You're not gonna go? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. If you want to jam, I'll take you to jam, bro. Okay, I'll take you to jam. But yeah, Magic City tomorrow will be good weekend, man. I get you get a little boxing tonight at Hialeah Park. Saturday, Marshall Tucker in Kansas over at Magic City. I'm gonna have a little fun with that. So that's good. We're going to have Richard Williams, the guitarist for Kansas, a long time and original member of Kansas, is going to join us at 10:45 today. We will have Ira Winderman at 10:10. Yeah, I know we came on a little earlier because Ira's going to join us at 10:10. So I wanted to talk a little bit and get the show going in the right direction, and then get the flow going out here. And we're at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. Come on out, baby. Join us. Come on by and say hi. We'll be out here for the next few hours. And of course, great opportunity to get a brand new or certified pre-owned vehicle out here at Craig Zinn's, Acura of Pembroke Pines. Always make sure you tell them that we sent you here. Great sponsors of our program. Now this is year 12, I think. Now how about that, man? Year 12 of sponsorship and partnership with Craig Zinn's Accurate Pembroke Pines, and we are very proud of that. So we got a loaded show for you today. Ira Winderman will stop by at 10:10. Kansas guitarist Richard Williams will join us at 10:45. Manny Navarro will join us at 11, and Omar Kelly will stop by at 11:30. All right. Now, for those of you next week, the schedule changes a little bit, and let's see. Let's see. Uh, okay. Let's see what else do we have here. Okay, so I want to fill you in next week. Our insiders will be on Monday. It'll be Ira Winderman, Alan Poupart, Joe Shad, and Marcel Louis Jacques from ESPN will join us next week. Starting next week, Marcel becomes part of the family, and he'll be on 2 weeks, two times a week. And we will have 5 Dolphin insiders with yours truly. That's 6 different people talking about the Dolphins every single week. You think anybody is covering the Dolphins better than we are right now? I don't think so.
No.
No. So make sure you stick here with us. Tuesdays, Cameron Wolf will take over at 10:30, Manny Navarro at 11:30, and Omar Kelly at 12:30. On Wednesday, Joe Shad will join us at 11:30. I was about to say the person that joins us at 10:30, but that's not official yet, so I can't I can't say it. Thursday, we have another guest that I can't talk about at 11. Then Alan Poupar will be joining us at 11:30, and then Marcel Louis Jacques makes his return in his second go around of the week at 12:30. Fridays, Ira Winderman at 10:30, Manny Navarro at 11, Omar Kelly at 11:30, and Cameron Wolf at 12:30. Okay, so obviously best lineup here in South Florida, and it's growing. We're going to add more and more elements. They're already in the works. It's just finalizing everything and making sure it's all official so you can check it all out here every single day from the OK Coin Studios. All right. By the way, it's still kind of trading sideways, isn't it, right now? The market. I keep like yesterday. I was telling. I was these are my problems, right? I'm telling Sean, I'm like, I'm pissed because the market is, going up a little bit and it goes up to like 37 something, right? But yesterday at 4 o'clock, I'm sitting there next to him, right? And it went down to 35.8, right? And it was 35.6, I think, 35.7. I think I got it like at 35.8. And I was like, yeah, I got it at 35.8, right? And then, but I only bought a little bit because I was saving the rest because I think it's going to go just a little bit more. I was hoping for the 33 or 30, but it just doesn't look like it's going there. And so you can never time the market where it's going to bottom or where it's going to top. Anybody that tells you that, they're lying. Okay, we could all guess or get a feel. My gut tells me this or that, but nobody knows when the market's going to top or when it's really going to bottom. You know what I mean? You start buying the dip and you think you bought the dip and then it dips even, lower and you're like, "Oh, damn it," that kind of stuff. What are you going to say?
No, I was going to say you should paint the picture a little bit better because you were on your phone
Yeah.
looking down. I didn't know what you were doing.
Right.
And I'm sitting here and I'm working on cutting up some audio and all I hear is like, "Oh, no." Like a loud out. We're in the weigh-ins, they're talking and I hear like a gasp and I'm like,
yeah, man.
"Everything okay?" And then you look at me and you're like, "I should have bought more." I'm like, I thought something had happened.
It did. It did. I don't know if I'm going to get 35.8 again on the damn thing. It's at 36.9 right now. Okay, which I'm making money on the stuff I bought yesterday already, but I don't know if it's going to go. So I'm saving a little because I'm wondering if see what I tell you. You save a little because you think it's going to dip again, and I don't know if what I bought yesterday was the final dip or not because it goes back up and it's kind of traded sideways. And I keep telling you, if this is happening, this is a blessing to anybody that is investing in this. This will give you more time to keep buying Bitcoin. Okay? I mean, listen, I got to tell you, you know what I would love? I would love to own a Bitcoin. Just one Bitcoin. Did you see what Kathy Wood said the other day? She's ARK Investments. She's one of the baddest asses in the planet when it comes to investing. She's one of the top dogs up there, okay? She thinks that by 2030 it's over $1 million each Bitcoin. Okay? So, and she's normally like, on target. All right. So she's really good. She's one of those kind of people you want to listen to when she talks. But I mean, listen, I don't know how high, if it'll go that high, but I know it's going to go. It's going to go because that's the inevitable. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, while it trades sideways, these are incredible buying opportunities. So if you can put $10 here and $40 there or 50, or God bless you, if you got 500 or 1,000 or 5,000 or 10,000, God bless you. If I had it, I would put it. Okay. But if you get an opportunity to put a little bit more and take advantage now, because when you start seeing it go to the 60s and the 80s and over the hundreds and 200s, and you saw it sitting there in the 30s and the low 40s and you didn't take advantage, that's when you're going to kick yourself in the ass. And the whale manipulating that's going on right now, what they're doing is they're scaring out retail. Retail is you and me. And so then all the financial institutions and the whales are going to come in and buy it low. And so the rich people are just going to get what? Richer. You know why? They have so much money, they can leave their money there to sit there. That's what investors do. They have the patience. Why do I tell you all the time? Do not get into crypto or really in any kind of investment if you don't have patience. If you need that money to pay for food on the table, then that's not good money to invest. If you need that money to pay the rent or the mortgage, that's not the money you invest. So if you're doing something because you have a timetable and you've got to get it back in a month or 3 months, don't invest. Now, if you're going to sit there for a long term, oh my God, you're going to win big time. But that's why I'm saying be patient. And this is only a buying opportunity of a lifetime right now. Okay? Whether it's Bitcoin, I've loaded up on Polkadot like crazy. I've gotten Polkadot at 16, 17, and $18, and I'm staking it at 12 and a half. Oh my God. And the parachains and everything, Polkadot is going to explode. I believe Solana avalanche like. It's just a matter of time. So I am loading up on Polkadot as much as I can. I'm loading up on my Bitcoin. Got a little more VeChain. Got a little more Cardano. Cardano is also at a great buy. So it's a buying opportunity as it trades sideways is what it is. That's what I would say. Not a financial advisor, but somebody that does love and enjoy investing in crypto. Carlos Alvarez says, what do you think about Dable bringing in Dorsey as OC? Carlos, we had this conversation again yesterday. Why would Dorsey do that, bro? Why isn't he going to stay in Buffalo? Carlos, I get it, bro. You're a fan. Don't think like a fan. Think like a professional. Think like a man right now. You're Ken Dorsey. Don't put away your little pom-poms, your orange and aqua pom-poms. You've got Josh Allen and a hell of an offense and a defense. You're the best team in the division. You're a Super Bowl contending type team. If Dable leaves, what you do is you get elevated and you become the man in Buffalo, and you have an opportunity right away to establish yourself, and it's a faster track to head coaching. Whereas you come here with Dable, you still don't know what's going to happen. Come on, man. Let's use common sense. Why would Ken Dorsey be stupid? Listen to me. Why would Ken Dorsey be stupid to come with Dable to take the same job he would have in Buffalo? Okay? Am I honest enough now about this? Think for yourselves. Put yourselves in Dorsey's position. If you say you would go to Miami, boy, you're not being honest with yourself, or you're not very smart. One of the two. What is it? Are you a pathetic fan, or are you just like dumb? Think about it. Anybody. You put yourself in Ken Dorsey's position. If you leave with Dable, you're a dumbass. If you stay, that's what intelligent professionals do, because that's your best way to get promoted and move on in life. The other way is a big fat question mark. We have to stop asking ourselves that. Put yourselves in Ken Dorsey's position. Why would you leave that situation if you're getting the elevation to offensive coordinator? Think about it. For the weather. Richard, well, I mean, seriously, dude. Seriously.
Could this be posturing by Dable or even Dorsey? Somebody putting it out there so that media puts it out there, and now the Giants are like, oh, wait a minute. He's trying to assemble, and now they give him more money or act faster to sign Dable?
No, I think this is kind of what's been – I just think this is the process right now, that everybody's kind of taking their time. And here's the other thing. None of these coaches are, oh, my God, I got to have them. There is not one coach that's available except the guy I want, Jim Caldwell. Outside of that, and that must be the health thing, it must be the age and health thing that's holding him back. But there is not one candidate out there, not one, that anybody says, oh, my God, we got to have Nick Saban. And there's 7 teams fighting for Nick Saban. Oh, my God, Parcells wants to get back in the mix. That doesn't, it's not happening. None of these candidates are the ones that you kill yourselves for. So I think that's kind of what it is also. They're really like doing their homework because they've got to make a decision. And it's not an easy one because they're probably all around the same. And there's a lot of question marks with all of them because they're all unproven. That's just the way it is. Big O gonna look real bad if Dorsey comes here. Yeah, LOL. Yeah, no, and Francisco, I look so bad saying that Flo was gonna get fired in the middle of a winning streak. What do you think takes more balls, Francisco? To say that Flo is gonna get fired during a winning streak? To say that Ndamukong Suh signing is terrible on the day they signed him? To say that Joe Philbin will never work on the day they hired him? To say that Ryan Tannehill will never be a real quarterback from the day they drafted him? I don't know, Francisco. You know anything about my track record? I'm wondering. 3 years ago, I'm the first guy that says you got to fire Dale Talon. No one had the balls to say you got to fire Dale Talon. Guess what they did? They fired Dale Talon. Not sure, Francisco. You know my track record? I'm not afraid to say the things that you need to say. And guess what? They all end up doing what I end up saying. So, what can I tell you? Once in a while, will I look bad? Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But don't freak out if Ken Dorsey does the intelligent thing and he stays in Buffalo, because that's what an intelligent professional does. He actually does what's best for his or her career. But hey, you know who's also willing to say the unpopular? Ira Winderman. And he is next. We are here at Accurate Pembroke Pines. So why not have the Accurate Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report?
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Speaking of Ira and the Heat, Francisco, when they signed Hassan Whiteside, I said, terrible signing. So there you go. These are the things. It happens all the time in my 31 years.
Actually, when they signed Hassan Whiteside the first time, we were all on board out of the G League, and he was a revelation. It's when they said 4 years, $98 million that we were like, 4 years, $98 million. Yeah, that was the difference.
No, that's the one I said, no. I understand the method behind the madness, because they were hoping that they were going to turn him around, and Riley's love for the big man and his obsession with the big man. So I get all of that. By the way, do you think that nostalgia is finally gone from Riley, that he's kind of turned the page on no more old basketball, that center just doesn't exist anymore? They don't even read them anymore.
I think he's also taking a longer read on players who revitalize in Miami that maybe you don't go out and reward them to the degree. Remember the Dion Waiters contract, the James Johnson contract, the Tyler Johnson contract. So I think the Heat, we're having it this season also with Caleb Martin and Max Strus and Gabe Vincent. Yeah. But no one's running out to give them 4 years, $100 million. So the developmental part has been great, but I think the Heat have stepped back now and said, you know what? Larger sample size, please. And I think that's important because they went through the Dion Waiters, the James Johnson, the Tyler Johnson phase. And you know what? Like everyone, you learn from mistakes. There's nothing wrong in making mistakes, Big O. You were talking about Dale Talon and other people. It's when you multiply your mistakes that you can question them. Dale Talon made some bad moves early on, but the thought was, okay, let's give him some time. Brian Flores had some missteps, but you give him some time. But then, what's the definition of insanity is repeating. That's what happened with Brian Flores. Oh crap, another bad start. How many of these can we survive? Dale Talon, another Keith Yandel, another too late guy in his career. How much can we survive? So I think that's the difference. I think the Heat have learned from those mistakes. And if they have to make the hard decision, and look, some don't work out well. Big O, we know about the Jay Crowder decision. It helped Phoenix get to last year's NBA Finals. And yet, you know what? A year from now, we might also say, not the worst thing in the world. The Heat came around with the PJ Tucker signing. So sometimes when you learn from your mistakes, there are other kinds of mistakes, but at least you're willing to say, okay, this didn't work. Let's look in another direction, just like with nonstop big men.
Before we continue with the Heat, on the NBA side, what's happening with the Simmons thing? Because obviously Shaq had his way with Simmons again the other night on TNT. Talk about how Embiid is a guy that you could criticize and he'll man up. But this guy, obviously, crawls into some kind of a corner. I don't know, I'm paraphrasing, but Shaq was kind of taking his shots. How long does this thing fester? Because that's also not productive for the franchise to have that lingering over them.
Big O, to me, if the Sixers don't make a move by the February 10th trading deadline, it's a big middle finger to Joel Embiid. Because here is a guy having not only an all-star season,
a great
but
point,
quite possibly an MVP season. And very much when you look at it numerically, a statistically like all-time season. You can't waste that. That's the lesson we learned from Dwayne Wade and other players when you didn't surround them. That's when Pat Riley said, okay, enough. Let's get Dwayne Wade Shaq. Let's bring in Antoine Walker and Jason Williams and James Posey in support. That's what you have to do. He did it with LeBron when he said, hey, we need Mike Miller too. We need Shane Battier too. We need Ray Allen too. So to me, the Philadelphia arrogance of Daryl Morey, if he does nothing to get the maximum possible deal, you're throwing aside a season of Joel Embiid. And let's face it, Big O, he is somewhat injury prone. You never know when he's going to go down again. I will say this. The Philadelphia 76ers are now in 6th place, 2 games behind the Heat for 1st place. If you add even a Buddy Hield or a CJ McCollum, and if you can get it, a Jaylen Brown, I would, as much as I'm impressed with what the Heat are doing, I might vault the Sixers to the top threat spot in the Eastern Conference if they get something. But from a Heat perspective, I'm totally fine on them doing nothing because they roll out that team. And yes, you have a Danny Green, and yes, you have a Seth Curry, and they're nice players. But as you know, Big O, you need that second. You need that third guy. The Heat have done that with Lowry. They've done that with Bam. They've done that with Hero. You can sit down and debate for a long time who is the second best player on the Sixers. And if you're debating who your second best player is, you're probably not going very far in the playoffs.
No, you're right. You know what? I never thought of it that way, but you're so right that you're kind of wasting an incredible year by
It's a
Embiid.
middle finger. It's a middle finger to Joel Embiid. Hey, Joel, go out and bust your ass and give us 50 points a night because we need all 50 points. But you want help? No, I'm going to be the greatest GM ever and get the greatest swindle, and I'm going to get Bradley Beal, and I'm going to get Damian Lillard. And let's face it, Big O, if he does get Bradley Beal after the season, he's still wasting this Joel Embiid season. Not to denigrate or anything like that. I'm not so sure Joel Embiid can play better than he's playing right now.
Do you? Well, the talk is obviously with what's going on with Harden, because obviously this Nets situation is just so kind of screwed up here because everybody keeps talking about, well, if you get them all 3 together, but now whether you have the Kyrie situation, now people are talking about maybe James Harden's thinking about moving on after this season, and obviously Daryl Morey is over in Philadelphia. Is that the guy that they try to get?
Well, look, if you're trading Ben Simmons for James Harden, I'm moving the Sixers to the top. I don't know how they share the ball or any of that. But when you have those 2 players like that, you have a hell of a quality. And the Brooklyn thing is another example of you can't just willy-nilly pick 3 guys off the street. When the Heat did the big 3, they went to Dwayne Wade. They went to LeBron James. They said, who's your number 3? Who works best? Who will sacrifice? Will you sacrifice? And they came up with Chris Bosh. And they had a lovely run, 4 straight years to the finals, 2 championships. The Nets just threw a bunch of guys together because they were available. And now I think if James Harden sits there and goes, if winning is not the single most important thing to Kyrie Irving when it comes to this vaccination stuff and all his other stops when he's been unhappy, and if KD is going to get injured this much, he's had problems with Warriors, sat out almost a full season. Now he has the knee issue again. Do I really need this? So what I'm saying is from the start, the Heat big 3 were wed to each other. We're in this together. And if Dwayne has to play off the ball and LeBron has to be ball handler and Chris Bosh has to become 3-point shooting center, we're doing that. But I was going to say Jersey, but in Brooklyn, James Harden still wants to be James Harden. Kyrie Irving still wants to be Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant still wants to be Kevin Durant. And let's be honest, Big O, Kevin Durant wasn't Kevin Durant in Golden State. He also had to step back for Steph and for Clay also. So that's the difference. This whole thing of super teams, it's not just bringing great players together. It's bringing the right mix of great players.
Yeah, because the big 3 here manipulated it together to make it happen. So it was already a chemistry thing right from the get-go, where this was kind of, okay, let's force the pieces together.
Yes.
With Boston, you had 2 of them together, so then they went and acquired the 3rd guy, who is a selfless guy in Ray Allen also. So, you know, that kind of, I think that's why maybe they jived together for so many years. And here's the caveat or the extra part of this whole thing that we learned. The first year, even with the 3 coming together, the franchise could not complete the puzzle around them. And that first year they struggled and obviously lost to Dallas, who was not better as an offensive unit, but they were better as a defensive unit, and that's probably what was the difference
And they
in
were
the
more cohesive.
Yeah,
They
that's
were
what I
more
mean.
cohesive as a team, and that
Right.
matters. You have to mesh. Matter of fact, Big O, I'm going to bring this full circle to get us back to the Heat. So last night they selected the starters in each conference, and the next logical question becomes, who's the Heat's all-star? And
Right.
this shows you when you play as a team, because now the coaches are voting. You can make a case for Jimmy Butler, you can make a case for Kyle Lowry, you can make a case for Tyler Hero, and if you didn't miss the time, you can make a case for Bam Adebayo. And they could wind up splitting the vote. And I think at the end of the day, only Jimmy Butler is going to get in. Yet in no way is he the singular star of this team, because on just as many nights, it could be Bam or Tyler or Kyle, but that's how this team is built. That's what makes a great super team, or at least trying to be a super team, when you can't definitively every night say who your best player is, because it's a variety of players. You know, in the Sixers, your best player better be Joel Embiid or you don't win. You
Right.
know, on the Nets at a home game without Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant injured, it has to be James Harden or you don't win. It's going to be really interesting. And I think the coaches could split the vote. And I think every coach agrees. I mean, you know what's funny yesterday is they named the starters in each conference. Who's in first place in the East? The Miami Heat, they don't have an all-star starter. Who's in first place in the Western Conference? The Phoenix Suns, they don't have an all-star starter. Why? Because they have great ensembles of talent. You know, whether it's DeAndre Ayton, whether it's Devin Booker, whether it's Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, Bridges, however you can go down the line there in Phoenix, you have the same question. I'm really curious if the coaches come to a consensus that this player is the Heat's all-star, because I could see some coaches saying, no, Lowry has transformed this team with his leadership. And I could see some coaches go, man, Tyler Hero has been the spark to that team having this record. It's going to be very interesting next Thursday when they name the all-star reserves as far as where the Heat will stand.
Yeah, and I would imagine that a guy like Tyler should be getting some of that love when they announce the reserves. I mean, he's kind of earned that right.
But the guards are so good in the
I
Eastern
know.
Conference. I mean, there's two guys
He's
to
been
me.
good too, man.
Yeah,
God.
well, I'm saying, but right off the top, I mean, you have to put Zach LaVine, and Fred VanVleet in. They have been by far outclassed themselves from the remaining contenders. That only leaves three other guards. You know, then you're looking at guys like a Drew Holiday, and you're looking at some other guys from the leading teams also who deserve consideration. I think Harden has to get in because Durant's not playing because of the knee injury. Backcourt's tough. It'll be a lot easier for Jimmy Butler when you're going against the Jared Allen, maybe a Pascal Siakam. It's a less challenging course to get into the all-star selection. So positionally, it could be impactful also. And I think you got to get a Cleveland player in. Darius Garland's been great. Jared Allen's been great. Cleveland's a half game out of first place, and the game's in Cleveland. So you have to keep that in mind also. Keep in mind the other thing, Big O. After the reserves are selected, you have your 12-man teams. Adam Silver then picks the replacements. He's going to pick a replacement for Kevin Durant. And like I've been saying on the show for weeks now on the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report, the All-Star Game is in Cleveland on February 20th. Who the hell wants to go to that?
Oh, God. I was just there for the concert, and I had a good time, I will say, but it is kind of a gloomy thing. I will.
I
By the
would
way,
like to have seen you convince the missus, let's go to Cleveland for a weekend in February.
yeah, no, she was. I mean, it was Genesis, Pro Football Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I'm out of there. So it was 36 hours of that, and I'm out. So it was all good. Now, speaking of Zach LaVine, and we got to appreciate this as Heat fans. Okay, so we got the Nets, they got their drama. We got the Lakers, they got their drama. We got the Bulls, you know, they're having a really good year, but all of a sudden the reports are Zach LaVine's thinking about greener pastures next year, moving on. And you start to look at some of these dysfunctional situations around the NBA. And man, not only are the Heat playing well, not only have they overcome every stinking injury possible and COVID to still stay in first place, but it's a cohesive unit. There's chemistry. They care for each other. There is zero drama right now. And I'm looking at Chicago, who's supposedly challenging for Miami for number one, and there's more drama.
Yeah, but the Bulls have done everything possible they could. The Lonzo Ball trade was a fantastic trade. You know,
Yeah.
what did they give up? Garrett Temple. They gave up Tomas Sandoronsky, almost nothing there. What they've done to round out their roster with some of their other moves, you know, you can't question the way that they have pulled that team together. The Alex Caruso free agent signing, how much does LeBron James miss that guy? So again, if management does right by you, if you're bringing a quality coach, of which Billy Donovan's a contender for Coach of the Year, that's all you could do. And if players get wanderlust and they want to be somewhere else and they think the grass is greener, that's never changed in today's NBA. You know what? Zach LaVine's decision will come down, I think, a long way to what Chicago does in the playoffs. And if it's another Bulls year of one and done, you might say, I've had enough of this. But you know what? If they get deep in the playoffs and it's going to be challenging for them, then I think it's another story. So I think we need to wait to the postseason and see what happens there.
Not that I give a rat's ass about the Bulls, but I'm thinking, wow, if I'm a Bulls fan, I'm having a good year. And all of a sudden, one of my stars in the middle of the good year saying, yeah, this is nice, but I might be moving on. And it's like, damn, dude. It's
basketball free agency
short-lived.
Basketball free agency is like no other sport. I mean, it's just, like we talk about, the reason we're on here in the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report in July and August is because that's when the stuff gets juicy. That's what basketball is. And again, it's a matter of who asked the question, how they asked the question. I can go right now. You want me to create controversy for you, Big O? So on Monday?
Let's go.
Okay, so I'm going to ask PJ Tucker on Sunday. I'm going to go to him. PJ, you have a player option next season for $7.3 million. Aren't you worth more money? And PJ Tucker will tell me he is worth more money. And Monday on the Accurate Pembroke Pines Report, we're going to talk about, oh my God, the Heat are going to lose PJ Tucker. That's what the NBA is. We're half sports, half gossip.
Okay, I like it. All right, I asked you last time, is Duncan Robinson turning the corner? Because another really good performance.
The Heat rotation is turning the corner. I mean, you look at the last game with Duncan's 3-pointers. They're all coming off of Bam Adebayo assists. So we even said this. We said we thought even with Duncan's struggles, when Bam comes back and Jimmy comes back, Duncan fits. Again, Big O, it's about how your roster fits. It's not about players 1 through 8, and let's get the 8 best players. Duncan Robinson fits in a starting lineup with Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler. So as long as you know Bam and Jimmy are there, Duncan Robinson is exactly what you need. When Bam was out for 7 weeks, Duncan struggled. He didn't have his guy. When Jimmy was out with the tailbone and the ankle, Duncan struggled. There weren't those driving kicks. That's the difference. You're not only building a roster, you're building cohesion. And that's what you're seeing now. And the parallel would be even what the Panthers are doing. The way they build 4 lines of guys who fit together. And you make it work. So that's what it's about building a team, not building a bunch of stars like they've tried in Brooklyn.
Zito has been just, wow, dude. I mean, outside of Heat management, that dude he has been so damn impressive with the way he saw what this team needed, and
Well, let's you know what? Let's also put in Jim Laranaga's roster building. He's learned to use the portal. He's learned to use, older transfers. Oh my God, they got like 7 6-year seniors. Give the guy credit. He, so many coaches balk at that. I'm not doing one and dones. I'm not going to the portal. I'm not going to bring a guy.
We have less of those now. We have less of those one and because they're going to.
And Jim Laranaga has figured out the system, and a lot of times it's the older coaches who were very, stuck in their ways. So I know he's not a GM. But I think for what he's done for his roster, he's done awfully well that he belongs to be in the Zito Riley conversation.
If he was in one of those schools that brings the McDonald's All-Americans and all that, he would have national championships.
I don't know if he'd be comfortable with that. I think he loves taking his 5-out offense and his guys shooting threes and double teaming on defense. I think he's having more fun now than if he had, say, a Mike Krzyzewski recruiting class. Not that he would ever pass on that.
No, there's no doubt about it. By the way, I don't know if I asked this because I was talking about this earlier. Does Spo belong with Shula, with Riley, and Ron Frazier? I don't know if I ended up asking you that.
Yeah, we did, and I said that Eric Spoelstra has been a better Miami Heat coach than Pat Riley. That's not to take away from what Pat accomplished, obviously, in Los Angeles and Showtime. But when we're rating the all-time best Heat coaches, Eric Spoelstra is number 1, Pat Riley's number 2, probably Stan Van Gundy number 3. That's the difference. With this team, Eric Spoelstra has been the franchise's all-time preeminent coach.
All right, tonight, any injuries, anything we got to worry about tonight?
Again, Kyle Lowry, the personal reasons, not getting into it. I can't stand
why are they dying to find out?
Right, but not only that, but I can't understand people who are getting angry. Well, he's getting paid anyway. Forget his contract. We all have families. We all have priorities. The Heat are not someone who's sitting by. This is not Lou Williams going for the hot wings at some strip club in Atlanta. Give the guy a break. Everything is – hell, they're 4-1 without him. So it's not like there's a crisis point, number 1. So he's out again. I've been told Jimmy's listening. Jimmy's
This is a
been
good
listed
thing.
as
His body is resting. This is good. He doesn't need this mileage. They're winning.
Hey, look how
They're in
Bam
first
Adebayo
place.
looked after he came back from 7 weeks off. Look how
Yes.
Tyler Hero looked when he missed 3 games with COVID. You have that. Jimmy Butler's listed as questionable with a toe issue. For all my older readers, he does not have gout, but he'll be fine. I heard he's taking a cortisone shot, so he might miss shoot around today, but he'll be there for the game tonight. So they should be whole enough. The Clippers have been getting down by a lot. The Heat will probably have that same situation. Saturday, they have the Raptors. And again, this starts a run of 4 games in 5 nights. The NBA doesn't schedule these anymore, but because of the San Antonio postponement, they had to redo this. So when I talk to you on Monday in our accurate Pembroke Pines report, it'll be 2 of the 4 and 5 out of the way. We'll get a better read as the Heat head out on the road.
And I'll close out with this, and I'll stay consistent. Early in the season, when they were missing some, what did I tell you about the young guys? This was going to be a blessing because it's what? Development time. Well, guess what? While Lowry's out, we've always been a little concerned about the backup point guard position, how it's going to be handled. With him out several games, this puts Spo in a position where he can measure how he distributes the ball, how he runs the offense without Lowry on the court at times, because when we get to the playoffs, there'll be moments that he has to rest. And in those moments, he's going to say, this is how I'm going to run the offense because this is what I did when he was out. So this allows Spo as a coach to adjust. This allows the players to kind of define themselves while Lowry is out, who's going to run the team, how they're going to run the team, those kind of things in certain situations. This all becomes a blessing. If everybody looks at it this way, I think you'll see that that's the way it's actually ending up, a blessing for the Miami Heat because they actually don't need Lowry right now in the regular season.
You know what? Coming Monday on the Big O Show, accurate Pembroke Pines report, can the Miami Heat afford to keep Gabe Vincent? That's Monday, the Gabe Vincent update. We're creating controversy only here on the Big O Show.
I love it.
So smash that damn like button.
That's right. That's what you got to do. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat. Catch his work at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And subscribe, folks. Make sure you subscribe. Very important to support our local journalist. Ira, as always, thank you, my brother. Appreciate you. Have a great weekend.
Gabe Vincent Gate is only getting started. Thank you, Big O.
There you go. I love it. He is awesome. Ira Winderman. All right.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman. You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
That's awesome. So somebody tweets out, depressed Dolphin fan, tweets out, Giants, we messed up with Daniel Jones because we keep changing OCs and O-line coaches. Also, Giants, we should hire Brian Flores. That is awesome. That is awesome. I love it. Yes.
Adam Schefter's also saying the Giants this weekend will probably decide on who their head coach will be. So maybe that might take over some of the...
I hope for entertainment purposes it's Brian Flores. I'm serious, dude. I just am going to laugh my ass off and make fun of it because it's going to be good, bro.
He's interviewing for the Saints job as well.
Who?
Brian Flores.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good for him, bro. Nick Cap says, you guys don't deserve the Cats. Sorry. Okay, Nick. Thanks. Let's see. What else do we have here? Super V. For those of you who have been listening to the Big O over the years, he always admits when he's wrong, but most of the time I can attest to him being right about certain people and topics in sports. What can I tell you? It happens. Big O's always knowing what's going on in the Dolphin organization. No, we just guess. We guess what's going on in the Dolphins organization. That's all. We're really good guessers in the Dolphin organization. No connections. I don't know anybody. I don't talk to anybody for 32 years. Just guessing. Dougie Fresh says, looking forward to your interview with Richard Williams. Kansas is a band known for a handful of epic hits, yet is way more substantive and necessary to the American rock genre. I'm with you. Kansas is so awesome. And I'm going to talk to Richard about this at 10:45 because they're opening up with people from the Southwind. And that is like, oh man, to open up the concert with people of the Southwind. I love it. I love it. The Monolith album. Man, it's good. It is good. So I'm looking forward to talking to Richard. I'm glad because they don't play people of the Southwind in every tour. So when they do, I get excited because that's one of my favorite songs. I love it. So I love Marshall Tucker. In fact, I need to text Doug Gray. I was on stage with Marshall Tucker at the Pompano Beach Amphitheater singing. So Doug's been on the show, and I've kept in contact with Doug Gray from Marshall Tucker. It sucks for okay, I'm gonna I don't mean to brag a little bit, but what sucks is I can't go backstage. COVID. Can't go backstage, bro. Like I'm super tight with Kansas, and it's I go backstage for every Kansas show. Can't go this year, so I can't go meet Doug Gray, give him a hug, and talk to him. Can't meet any of the guys from Kansas and BS with them and hang out. Every time they come, I get to hang out with them because I've gotten pretty close to the Kansas band over the years, and then Doug Gray has kind of become a little bit of a friend of the show. And he's such a good man, by the way, Doug Gray, lead singer there for Marshall Tucker. So I'm looking forward to it. I just hate that I can't go backstage to say hi to the fellas. That part would have been fun. So yeah. David Triana says, "Oh, random question. If you didn't get into this business, what's another job you wish you could have had?" Oh, rock DJ, bro. I mean, that's just automatic. I still might do some of that if I would get the opportunity. I might, but it would have to be like a mom and pop rock station. I don't know about a full-fledged corporate. I don't know if I want to I don't know if I want to work under those kind of constraints anymore. Because I had to deal with it for so many years and fight it all the time. And I remember one time, let me give you examples. So I know Pat Surtain's not playing in a game. So we pre-record the Wanstead show. And Wanstead's talking about how, the Hank asks him about Surtain and where he's practicing. We're hoping he's going to do a good job this weekend, and Wanstead talks him up like he's going to play. But I know he's not playing. And so I'm not allowed to report the story. Can you imagine that? It's like, okay, you're paying me to be a beat reporter. You're paying me to break news. Well, actually, you're not really paying me to break news. I broke news on my own. But it's like, oh no, we have a relationship with the team. So this is the kind of crap that I had to deal with for many, many, many years. Like when I roasted Al Golden at the ACC Media Days, do you know the kind of crap I had to deal with behind the scenes for that? Why? Because you're supposed to go there and just kiss their ass. And that's not me. I'm not doing that. I'm going to ask you a tough question whether you like it or not. And so those corporate settings piss me off because there's no objectivity, and that's been the problem in the media is that these corporations have kind of taken that out at different levels. And so you take the job and then, a lot of people there have to, they need the job, that's the only place they're going to be able to work in doing this kind of stuff. They're not going to be able to do what we're doing here. They're not that blessed. And so it's a pain in the ass. And trust me, when you can do this on your own, you don't want to go back to a corporate setting. So yeah, I would. Only thing I would love to do would be a rock DJ. Yeah. Obviously, the ultimate job I could ever have would be a rock singer, but I don't have a voice for that. I don't have the talent for that. Good Lord didn't bless me with that ability. So it would be a rock DJ. That would be the other thing that I would do. What are you laughing at? What did somebody say?
The party's over, Bubba goes, damn, Big O in 4K.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, because we figured out the camera was too close to us. It wasn't it's the same camera, but we got like a different tripod, and it's like a little bit more away now, and so it actually looks better. I don't. Now you get to see the full ugliness of me. I apologize for all of that. Okay, I've been trying to tell Sean, can we do something to ease this on people, and he's like, no, dude. You will torture them.
Only on post-production can I put the little blurry face on you.
There you go. It would be the best thing for all of you out there. Oh God, I should walk in like that with my wife, like a big blurry face, and she'd probably be happy.
We just do the shadow. What's the when somebody's trying to stay hidden?
Oh,
the informants just have you as a shadow, just sitting there.
That's it. Big O would be a great cigar seller. Oh yeah, baby. Little Perdomo 20th anniversary. Right? Yeah, no, I'm with you. I could definitely sell and Perdomo cigars with the flavor, the construction, the pool, and you could be, of course, living on the edge with a Perdomo. See, that's the beauty right there. A little edge, a little Tito's vodka, and then a Perdomo cigar. Woo! That's a perfect weekend right there, kicking back. Did Al Golden make you wear a tie, Big O? No. Big O, who was the QB that had an outstanding come from behind game, and they ended up putting him on the practice squad, then eventually releasing him, and then signed by the Eagles? Oh, it was God, I'm forgetting the kid's name now. Reed Sinnett. Oh, yeah, Dalrymple has it right there. David Dalrymple. Right, Reed Sinnett was the name of the kid. Living on the Edge is a fantastic song, by the way. Yes, it is. And Edge Energy Drink is also a fantastic energy drink. Super smooth, baby. And Sean's new hookup. Sean's on the edge now all the time. Sean is living on the edge all the time. He's walking around like in a Bon Jovi song.
I love it. It is the smoothest,
isn't it?
And no aftertaste.
No, zero after. That's why I can't.
I know we say it over and over.
I hate energy drinks because of all that stupid aftertaste. Yeah. And Edge has nothing, bro.
It really is.
It's pretty awesome. It really is. Rosenda says, good Friday morning, Big O Nation, and may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make your face shine on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. Well, thank you, Rosenda. That is very kind of you there on the chat board. I like it. Big O, I could see you working at WKRP in Cincinnati. I love it. Yeah, baby. Hanging out with Venus Flytrap. Yeah. I'm with you. All right. Let's hang out with Richard Williams from Kansas. Let's do that. Tomorrow night at Magic City, Doug Gray and Marshall Tucker are going to be opening up for Richard Williams and company of Kansas. Of course, I'm a monster Kansas fan, as all of you know out there. I've seen Richard many times live, and now he is kind enough to join us here on the program. Richard, how you doing, my friend? You feeling good?
Doing great.
I like it. You ready to jam tomorrow night?
Yeah, we're jamming tonight. We're going to do it the next night and the next night after that.
I love it. And by the way, I cheated like I normally do. I go to setlist.fm. You know about setlist.fm, right? That's that website that we all go to find out the song list of bands that you're going to go see. And when I saw you're opening up with People of the Southwind, I just, because you don't play that one on every tour. So I just want to thank you because that's one of my favorite songs of all time.
Well,
I
it'll be a little bit different for you because the first 5 songs are set up. We call ourselves the Stools. It's all acoustic,
Sure, I know.
and it's it comes off extremely well. It comes off very powerful. Ronnie really sings it well, and so it's we kind of ease into the set a bit because the middle part again is a collection of songs from our whole career. Then eventually we get into Point of No Return in its entirety. So it's about an hour or 2.5. Let's see, 2 hours and 20 minutes long, the entire set.
Yeah. Well, listen, Richard, it helps when you're great musicians and your harmonies are just absolutely amazing. So when you're able to do that, People of the Southwind, whether it's acoustic style or electric style, it doesn't matter. It's going to sound phenomenal. And that's the one thing that I give you guys so much credit, Richard. You've always been a great band, but you've always maintained that level throughout the decades. You've made a couple of changes along the way, but those changes have been strong changes, and you've maintained that high level that you guys have always had throughout your careers. I
But it
commend
was
you
out of necessity, really. We've always been a bunch of mutts.
for that.
We couldn't get along on our looks, so we really had to do it with some measurable talent.
Yes, and there's no doubt when it comes to lyrics and music and arrangement and harmonies and singing, it's just absolutely amazing when it comes to Kansas. I gotta also tell you this. Miracles Out of Nowhere is a biography I think I've watched like 8 times already over the years. And I don't know how much fun you guys had making this or being a part of it. Maybe you can walk us through that. But I got to tell you that as a Kansas fan, I just find myself every couple of months wanting to watch it over again just to see if I pick up on something I didn't pick up on the last time around. But it is such an enjoyable biography. I think yours and the Eagles are 2 of my favorites that I've watched over and over again because it is so detailed on telling your story.
Well, it was a process. Uh, I happened to be in Topeka with my wife, Debbie, and just seeing friends. And Phil and I had been kind of talking about a book of just, loosely, maybe one day we should tell the story before we're no longer here. Kicking that around. And then while in Topeka, I was just noticing, keeping that in mind, that every time I walked around a corner, there was another story to tell. I was just, oh, remember the time when. And so we started saying, well, maybe this should be maybe an audio book, and it should involve more people. And so as we were still brainstorming on it, it turned into maybe get everybody's input. Well, we need to get everybody here, so we can kind of get all our thoughts together. Well, then an old manager, Bud Carr, started getting involved too, and they started saying, well, this needs to be a documentary. And so it kept growing and growing until then we had to agree exactly what is this going to be about. We did not want it to be the story of naughty boys doing naughty things, because you take any band anywhere, then you can tell that story. It's kind of old news. Fill in the gaps. Imagine, yeah, we did it, or somebody did,
Right.
And I probably did. So it had to be an inspirational story. Or some people didn't really want anything to do with it. And so now we had a framework. Well, since the story is continuing today, we need to have an ending point. So we ended up, with the original 6, and just so far into our career, before more of the glory days. And so now there was a parameter and a reason for the story, and then getting everybody together all in the same rooms again was fantastic. And it just kind of flowed out of us. We had a great director who put it all together, and very proud of it. It's funny.
Sure.
I hadn't seen it in a while, And my wife and I had moved from Atlanta a year ago up into the mountains of North Carolina. We just installed a television in the kitchen, and that was the only thing we had on just to put on. And we came on towards the end of it, and I caught myself just watching it, still captivated by it. And then the end came, and we got all dewy-eyed. I mean, it still is moving to me, and so we're very proud of how that worked out.
You should be, and for me, it's as a fan, I love watching it. I can never get enough of it. Is there something now after all these years you're going, damn, we left something out. We should have put this. What is it?
There could be a story here or there, but I think the essence of what we wanted to say, that we were a band, we were friends, and this was our journey from the middle of nowhere to the top of the mountain. And that was really the story. And we could add this and take away that. But we did achieve that story within that. And so very satisfied with it.
Is there a part of you that you're unhappy with the fact that you haven't been given the honor that you guys deserve? Because I don't believe you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, correct?
No.
Why?
We're in really good company, though.
Why? Why?
There's an incredible bunch of musicians out there that aren't and probably never will be. And that's okay.
Yeah, but you know what's going to happen, Richard? You know, it's like watching Deep Purple get in, and then we got to watch John Lord's wife there. You know what I'm saying? And it's, you know, I don't want to do that. You know, you guys are still around,
we lost,
and you know, I know
we lost Robbie Steinhardt last year.
We just lost Robbie Steinhardt, and I was, you know, I saw you guys back in the Monolith days and all that, but I was so lucky a couple of years ago. Robbie came on stage with you guys over in this place in Miramar that you guys were at, and he came on for like 2 songs, and it was really cool to see him there with you guys. And you know, it sucks that we lost Robbie already. And this is an honor that all of you should be enjoying and sharing, because you've earned the right to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You are a Hall of Famer, Richard Williams.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'll speak for myself. Personally, I don't need the slap on the back. I know what we've done, and I'm very proud of what we've done. But for our fans, for our family members, you know, for my grandchildren, it means a lot for a legacy. They can go there and, you know, take my grandchildren, take their children there and say, this is what your great grandfather did. That means a lot to them. And so it would mean a lot to me, but we're still working. We're still busy. It's not really, maybe I'm sitting in a chair with an ascot and a pipe petting the Irish setter. I might kind of think about it, but we're way too busy to concern ourselves with that.
Yeah, you're right. By the way, one of our listeners says for Richard, we've always heard about Neil Peart and Stuart Copeland, who deserve their praise. However, Phil Earhart is one of the most underrated drummers in rock. And by the way, one tough sumbitch too, because I remember a couple years back, he fell off the drum kit and he was banged up, and yet he kept, you know, the tour going and all that, and he was injured. So let's give Phil the love he deserves too, Richard.
No, absolutely. Yeah, we've both taken our lumps. 5 years ago, I walked off a stage in the dark and broke an ankle, beat up. But the next week I was playing from a chair. It's what you do. Yeah, Phil had to hobble around with a cane for a while, but he wasn't going to give it up. And through rehab, Phil's playing better than ever now. I told him that the other day. I think you're playing better than you ever have. And we've been playing together since we were 16 years old.
It's amazing. Just, it simply is amazing. Is the rush the same for you every time you take the stage? Because I know tomorrow night I'll have goosebumps the second you guys take the stage. So I want you to know that I get the same goosebumps watching you when I was 15 years old, and now that I'm 55, you know, watching you, it's the same thing for me. So how is it for you when you're about to take the stage?
I was born to do this. but my constitution isn't one of, well, get me on that stage. I'm still nervous. I'm nervous before every show. I hide it well. But 1, 2, 3, go, and suddenly you get in the moment and you do it. But I woke up today. We've been off for a few weeks. I woke up today with a pit in my stomach, just going, "Oh God, we got a show tonight," and there are nerves to it. That's a part I don't care for, but I also understand that it is that keeps me on my toes, because I'm as hard as anybody would ever be on myself to make sure I'm prepared. Did I practice enough? I forgot to go over that song for the 8th time, yesterday. So it's kind of a necessity for me to get my head in the game. Some people just walk out nonchalant, just go, "Oh, let's have fun," and without a care. That's never been me. I've always been nervous about it. But when the moment starts, there's nothing on earth that can replace the start of a show.
Guitarist. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
There was a time when we had a few years off, and suddenly we were back on the road again. And at the time, we had a curtain surrounding the stage, and it would fill up with smoke. And then as the song started, the stage would open and the fog would pour out. So we're standing in our positions. I reached over to Phil and said, "This moment is what has been missing in our lives for the last 2 years. That anticipation of, hang on, because here we go."
Right.
And there's nothing in life that will ever fill that.
Kind of almost feels like when you go click, 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 click on the roller coaster, and right when you're about to take that dip, that's where the excitement starts. It's kind of like what you're talking about. I feel you, Richard. Before I let you go, you're a Chiefs fan, so
Yeah.
what do you got to say about your Chiefs this weekend?
Burrows is tough, and they've been tough against Kansas City. It's a scary game. I'm glad it's at home. But I always watch Chiefs games, peeking through my fingers and focusing on every negative thing that happens. Another holding call. How could you drop that pass? But I'm sure people that are fans of the team playing against them are peeking through their fingers going, "Oh, what a nightmare we've got to play the Chiefs."
Yeah. Well, can you imagine a Bengals fan who hasn't had a slither of the success that you and your fan base has had? You know what I'm saying? It's got to be a lot worse for Bengals fans.
It's got to be. I watched the game the next day on the NFL Network after watching the game live. And I really enjoyed it the second time through because I didn't scream. I didn't pound the bed. I wasn't shocked in horror to be instantly the happiest man on earth, to be suddenly stunned beyond. I mean, that was when it was 13 seconds left and they had just scored. I just sat sideways on the bed and stared at the wall that I can't believe this has just happened.
Right.
I was so upset. And boom, 2 plays, and they score and tie the game. Now I'm insane again. It was the most up and down. And I just put up on my Facebook page just a picture of the Chiefs logo. I didn't even have anything to say. Everybody else was saying it for me. The best game they have ever seen. Yeah. And my thought was, before they hiked the ball 13 seconds, win or lose, that's the best game I've ever seen. And then it got even better. Sports announcers, guys that have been in the business for 50 years, saying that's the greatest game I've ever seen. And that was by far the best playoff weekend of all time. All 4 games, stellar.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a great weekend, and if the overtime rules weren't different, we'd still be playing that game right now because it seems like nobody was stopping anybody. It was amazing.
I have a prediction. It would be because of that game, and it's been in the wind anyway. That game is going to cause that rule to change.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I really feel that because the Chiefs got burnt by Tom Brady 4 years ago, and now Buffalo got burnt on the same rule.
Yeah, I'm old school, Richard. I'm old school. You got to play some defense too, man. So I blame the team that allows them to score. I mean, complaining, you got to stop somebody, man, at one point or another,
But imagine how tired both those defenses were as they were just being torched.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Richard, thank you for taking some time. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow night here in Miami at Magic City. For those of you, 7 o'clock tomorrow night, Magic City Casino. Marshall Tucker Band will open up, and then Kansas will take over and jam for over 2 hours, and will put together an amazing performance like they always do. Richard, you are fantastic, sir. I'm sad that because of COVID, I don't get to go backstage to meet you guys again, and even Doug over at Marshall Tucker. So sadly, the pandemic's not going to allow us to do that, but I am grateful for you taking time here to join us and the listeners and doing your thing.
Oh, sure. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Appreciate you. There you go. The great Richard Williams, man, guitarist for Kansas, who should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. All right. Hour number 2 is next. And you know who's next? It is Manny Navarro and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
The Big O Radio Show is looking for partners to join our growing platform. If your business is ready to reach an audience that starts in Florida, crosses the nation while expanding internationally, this is the program that provides that vehicle. The Big O Radio Show is ready to broadcast live anywhere in the world to represent your event or product. To reach out by phone, 786-754-4664. That's 786-754-4664. Or email bigoradioshow@yahoo.com. Help us grow as we provide the content and personal connection corporate entities will never achieve.
Folks, you can support the hardest working sports talk show in South Florida through Cash App or Venmo. Just search Cash Big O Show. Support us through Cash App or Venmo. Cash Big O Show. We thank you for your incredible support.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop. The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by Caneswear. Go to caneswear.com, where all orders over $99 get free shipping. Sloman's Total Home Security. Protect your home with the best in the business. 1-800-ALARM-ME for the company serving America for nearly 100 years. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tommy. If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where Inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Time for Canes fans to get what they want. Information, insight, and perspective. It's the Caneswear Miami Hurricanes Report with Manny Navarro. Exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. Here's Big O and insider Manny Navarro.
All righty, we are back. We thank Richard Williams from Kansas for joining us to talk a little rock and roll. Looking forward to watching Kansas tomorrow night. Gilbert Martinez, by the way, sir, thank you for a little love there on the Super Chat along with Dougie Fresh, as always. All right, you saw it there. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Manny Navarro, and our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report. How you feeling, my man? Feeling good?
Doing great. Waiting for this recruiting weekend to subside. Waiting for some coordinator news, hopefully, and just waiting for to kind of go into the offseason. I feel like we've gone through this month of January, so many rumors, so many like developments of, hey, who's going to be the coordinator? Who's gonna, what recruits are they going to land? What is Mario going to be able to do? And now we're kind of reaching the crescendo. Next week, next Wednesday is National Signing Day, and we'll see what happens here.
All right. What are the players in play on the recruiting side? Educate us, my man. Who are the guys that Canes fans should be hoping that they're able to land?
Yeah, I think there's about 11 guys in play right here that they've been either visiting this weekend or have visited here the last month that are all in play for Miami. I'll go over the list quickly. Most of them are offensive linemen and defensive linemen. Mario did say he was going to dive into the trenches. The one running back, let's start with him. Trevante Citizen out of Louisiana, 4-star running back. He's supposed to be coming down for a visit. Miami picked up Henry Parrish from Ole Miss. They've got 5 scholarship running backs. The odds that they end up getting Citizen, to me, probably aren't good. I think
I was going to ask you about that because they seem like they have a lot of backs.
Yeah. I would think he's going to end up going somewhere else, but who knows? I mean, he's coming down on his last official visit here. Maybe Miami wants 6 running backs for a reason. Maybe they know somebody else is out the door soon. All of those things remain to be seen. As far as the biggest recruit on campus this weekend, Shamar Stewart, the 5-star defensive lineman out of Miami Monsignor Pace. He's 6'6", 272. I did an interview with him this week. It's actually on my Wide Right podcast. And Shamar is a guy who really wants to play edge. He doesn't want to be, moved inside to defensive tackle. And, one thing he talked about was getting to know Miami's defensive coordinator. Well, obviously there's no defensive coordinator in place. He wants to make sure that he's got these guarantees that he'll be out on the edge and not moved inside. I think the issue is eventually Shamar's probably going to be moved inside. He's just such a big mammoth guy. He's going to put on more weight. Ultimately, is he fast enough on the edge? Is he going to make as many plays as you want, or is he going to be more effective on the inside? And you know how this works. So all of these kids go through the process. They get to school, they want to play a certain position. Then all of a sudden the coach says, hey, you want to get on the field, you better move to here because here you can get on the field faster. So
right.
I think, while Georgia and Texas A&M are definitely players in this, I think if Miami can really have a great weekend with him this week, and there's a chance that he could stay home. But right now I say Texas A&M is the leader, and if Miami doesn't name a defensive coordinator sometime soon, or at least make him feel reassured, I think he's probably headed to the SEC. Besides him, there's 6 other visitors on campus this week, and I'll mention all of them. 5-star offensive tackle Josh Connerly. He's a kid out of Washington. He's not going to make an announcement on Wednesday. He's a kid who's going to wait till March, he said, to announce. So even though he's coming down here, he may say a lot of great things. Miami fans don't need to worry about him. There's a defensive tackle out of Georgia, Christian Miller, 6'4", 294. Everybody thinks Ohio State or Georgia for him. He's coming down here. I think the Hurricanes are sort of a long shot to get him. There's a kid, 3-star offensive tackle, Inez Cooper out of Alabama, 6'6", 352. Not much in the way of competition for Miami. I think he's kind of like a plan B kid. If Miami doesn't land some of these other offensive linemen they want, I think they'll probably offer him and get him. And then there's two local kids, both from Cardinal Gibbons, the state championship team here in South Florida. One of them is R. Mason Thomas. He's a 6'2", 220-pound edge rusher. And then there's a defensive tackle, Ahmad Moten, whose older brother played for Miami, 6'3", 290. Both of them went to Oklahoma last week. Thomas is an Iowa State commitment. Obviously, he's still looking, visiting Oklahoma and Miami. I think Miami really wants Thomas. I don't know that. I mean, I think they'll take Moten as well, but I think Moten's probably headed to Oklahoma. Thomas is the kid that they have more of a chance at. And then the kids that previously visited, those we just went over the ones that are all here this weekend. The ones that previously visited that Miami still has a shot at. I think Dave Iuli, he's a 6'5", 315-pound offensive lineman out of Puyallup, Washington. And he came here and he's raved about it. He went to the Polynesian Bowl, the high school All-American game out there. And it seems like he's headed to Miami. I think he's a lock to come here. 3-star offensive tackle Matthew McCoy, a kid out of St. Augustine Creekside. His mom and his family came down with him on his visit a couple weeks ago. Kid loved it. I think Miami's a player, but I would tend to lean towards Florida right now because it's closer to home, and who knows? He's visited there. He's visiting there this weekend as well, and has visited there in the past. And then you have 3-star edge rusher Jack Pyburn out of Jacksonville Bulls, who is a kid that I love. I interviewed him as well on my podcast this week. He just sounds like one of these super intense, focused players. He wakes up at 4 a.m. He text messages Mario Cristobal, who's Miami's been recruiting him since Cristobal basically came in, and they kind of talk about their workouts. I mean, the kid he's a wrestler. He's a really good player. I think he's he's taking a surprise visit this weekend to Florida. Now, Florida's where both of his parents went. He grew up a Gators fan. He wants to play in a stadium that's filled every single week, and those things are important to him. But he also has this great relationship with Mario Cristobal. So we'll see. He could end up taking a surprise visit here, according to Canesport.com. He could end up coming here Sunday after his 2 days in Gainesville. So, look, Miami's battling for guys. You know how it works. Anytime a coach takes over, it takes a little bit of time, right? I think Miami is very well positioned for 2023, 2024. They had that weekend last Saturday. I was down there for a few hours talking to kids on campus. But this weekend and what happens over the next few days leading into Wednesday on signing day, it'll be interesting to watch, who Miami really impresses and who ends up elsewhere. But look, they're at 15 recruits right now, 10 players, 5 transfers that they've landed. Mario said they want to get to between 16 and 20. So you got 11 on the board. They get half of that. They reach their goal, right? They get between 16 and 20. So
yeah, wow, that
was a mouthful. Sorry.
I know, but in a way, as you were telling me all of this, I kept thinking about how the numbers were low for Manny as it was. I'm talking about Diaz. Right. And so it kind of became a blessing, actually, because imagine if he would have picked up a bunch of guys, then it becomes a bigger mess for Cristobal to have to manage. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's funny how all of that kind of has worked out for Cristobal.
Yeah, and in the end, the whole scholarship number, I think they're like at 84, 85 scholarship kids now as it stands. Like they don't have a ton of room to add guys, which tells me, the whole transfer portal thing, by the way, just so your listeners understand it, every time you lose a transfer, you can sign, it counts that you have like a running number of guys that leave the program, right? So you can sign up to 7 more. You're allowed to sign 25 every year, but you can sign up to 7 more based on how many guys leave on transfer. You lose 7 guys, you can get 7. You lose 6, you can get 6 more scholarships. So that's the new rule that's in place. That said, I still think there's going to be, we're going to get to spring football. Guys are going to go through practice. And that's why I keep telling everybody, this is like a year-round thing now, this roster management. It used to be everybody worried about February, right? The first Wednesday. Right. Now it's like this roster change is going to just continue, I think, through the spring, through the summer. Guys are going to be leaving. Guys are going to be coming in. So, and again, the transfer portal is such a big deal because those are the guys that are really ready to come in and contribute. A lot of these high school kids, they're not going to play. Oh, we know it. I mean, they're going to come in and they're going to sit. They're going to, spend the year putting on the weight. So I think Miami is, as you mentioned, Manny Diaz not signing a lot of guys. We knew that at the start of the year. This wasn't going to be a very big class because of the rollover from COVID, right? The extra year that all these guys got. That's why the roster numbers are so large. So I expect a lot of change. And I think the main focus, and I tried to express that in my article in The Athletic this week, is Mario really wants to get better in the trenches. I don't think he necessarily likes some of the stuff that he's got here on both sides of the line, and he's trying to improve it as best as he can. And it just takes time. It's going to take.
You mean get back to what they used to do, win the battle up the line?
Yeah. I mean that's listen, if you're going to win a national championship, I mean, if you're going to play Georgia and Alabama and have any chance to beat them, you got to kick ass up front. And you
You
know,
need Russell Maryland, and you need Casey Jones, and you need you need tough some bitches like that to kind of win that, because that's what they used to have here. They used to have like the Mario and the Lewis crystal balls on the line. You
right?
know, they had the Warren Sapps. You know, those are the kind of guys they used to have. Jimmy Jones, give me a Jimmy Jones. We don't even have a Jimmy Jones on the D line. Okay, get me stuff like that. And
Yeah. And I think that's been the emphasis this whole time, and it will be going into next year. Now, the one thing you have to remember is South Florida. There's not a whole lot of those guys down here, right? The big trench bullies. As much as you'll get a Leonard Taylor, right, the 5-star kid they got last year, who I think is going to be an absolute beast for them. That's once every few years that you see that in South Florida. That you see
get your ass out to the Midwest, baby. Let's go,
right.
corn fed.
Like this year, it's Shamar Stewart. He's the big, huge guy. They got the Nigel Lee Kelly kid as the edge rusher. But the offensive lineman, I mean, he's going Samoan and Polynesian, bro. He's going
I'm good
going
with
to the
that.
West Coast.
I'm good with
Getting those
that.
kids. Right. He brought in one of his former kids at Oregon who was going to be in the rotation at guard. That's one of the transfers that they landed earlier this week. The kid finally enrolled Wednesday. We've been hearing about him potentially coming in for weeks, and now he finally announces that he'll be one of the transfers in there. Logan Sagapolu. I think he squats 600 pounds, over 600 pounds. So just a guy that can move the pile. That's what they want. And I'm not, again, I keep
Can
telling
we
people,
clone a young Bryant McKinney? Let's go.
Right. It's getting those guys up front, man, they're going to move bodies. I mean, Mario watched enough film, and I think he said to himself, we're not moving bodies here, bro. We're not moving.
It's been a while that we've watched the University of Miami dominate at the lines.
Yeah.
A long time, man. We've watched individual players at times throughout the year that were pretty good, guys on the line, individuals.
Yeah.
But we have not seen dominant units, which is why they won titles. Yeah, you had your Michael Irvins and the Perrimans and the Blades of the world and all the quarterbacks throwing it and the running backs running. But, bro, the hogs in the middle, whether it was D or O line, those were the guys that were making things happen all the damn time. And that's been the difference. We haven't seen entire offensive lines and D lines dominate for the Canes.
Yeah.
Long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. And I would say this, go back and look at the numbers. Worst rushing team in the ACC, 3.9 yards a carry. Jalen Knighton under 4 yards a carry. Like, obviously, they had injuries last year at running back. I get it. No Don Chaney. You end up losing Cam Harris in the middle of the year. Cam Harris had been playing well for you. You lose him in that North Carolina game. I get it, but they're going to run the football this year. Everybody's like, hey, Tyler's going to throw it all over the field. I'm like, hey, you guys need to realize Mario's an offensive lineman, dude. He wants to run the ball. Yeah. And I'll tell you, every year at Oregon, go and look at the numbers. Every year at Oregon, their yards per carry, even when they had Herbert there, okay?
Yeah. Well, he was part of the running game.
Right. So I think, while certainly Miami's going to have one of the best quarterbacks in the ACC, if not the guy who could potentially be the player of the year if Miami has a great season, I think they're going to run the football, and you're going to see a commitment to running the football and being better at it.
I'm looking forward to that. All right. Coaches, bro. What are the delays? What's the names? Give me some rumors.
Well, let me first start off with the delays. I tried to explain this in my story yesterday for The Athletic, where I'm trying to paint a picture of first of all, Mario is taking a super deep dive into every one of these candidates. Okay, every guy between the recruiting. Okay, and I don't know if people have been watching Mario on Twitter, but he's in Washington on Wednesday.
Everywhere.
He was in. I mean, the guy is all over the planet. Doing in-house visits. So it's kind of hard to do a coach search while you're in the middle of recruiting, right? It's kind of hard to do that all at the same time. I don't know how the hell he does it.
I'm flying to Marietta. Meet me in Marietta tomorrow at noon. We'll talk for a couple of hours. That's it.
Right. Well, listen, the rumors, if you listen to the internet boards and all these internet reporters, all these Twitter Canes beat writers, right, that are just on Twitter, they're supposed to be a coaching hire at some point today, right? Everybody's, it's going to be Friday. It's going to be this coach. It's going to be that coach, all because of Shamar Stewart, right? Like they're going to hire a coordinator just to please a kid. No, I don't necessarily believe that. I think Mario, from my conversations with people in the program and close to the program, he's been taking his time because the NFL coaching tree is going to get shaken up, right? There were 2 hires yesterday. I think there's still 7 openings, right? Oh, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And I think there's guys that are in those ranks that would prefer to coach in the NFL, okay, than to coach in college. But if the opportunity didn't present itself in the NFL, they'd be willing to come to college and be the coordinators on offense and defense. And
And the reverse is also guys that get hired will free up guys that will get fired, and some of
right,
those guys may be options for him also. So he may have a guy targeted that he knows is only being held as an insurance policy
correct.
until they get their head coach, who then will decide who to keep and who to replace, and then he expects to get that guy. So I kind of I'm picking up on what you're doing there. Okay, I get it. I get it.
It's a domino effect. And look, there's guys that he's interviewed that he's liked through the process. I'm sure they've discussed money, they've discussed scenarios, they've discussed assistant coaches. But I don't think he's in any rush. And I tried to break this down in my story. Miami fans, oh well, the players, the recruits need to know who the coordinators are. And I'm like, well, I just spent the weekend at Miami talking to all these 2023 and 24 kids. They didn't give a damn. They were there just, hey, I'm at Miami. I'm taking pictures. I'm doing videos. I'm enjoying Coach Cristobal. He seems like a cool. For those kids, it doesn't matter. They're a year away from deciding. The 11 guys that they're talking to now, sure, they would love to know who the coordinators are. But you're adding, like I said, maybe a handful of guys. So why are you going to rush through the process for 5 recruits? Oh, why are you going to? What's the point of that? Mario's thinking is always long term. It's always big picture. It's always about the players and getting the best players and getting the best coaches. And this process that he's taken, he's in no rush, man. He's in no rush. I think while there's always a possibility you could hear an announcement, where he just finally breaks down and says, "Hey, this is who I'm hiring." I think the NFL deal is really what's affected this whole process. And I want people to understand that. Why hasn't he gone faster? Because he's waiting for people to A, get eliminated, or B, even end their college contracts, right? A lot of guys are signed through signing day, right? Coaches aren't allowed to leave programs contractually.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And so maybe after Wednesday is when we get the news. Maybe he already knows and he gets to tell Shamar Stewart, hey, this guy's going to be my defensive coordinator. I'm only telling you. And but we're going to announce it a week after signing day. We're going to announce it whenever we can. So I think Miami fans just need to be patient. I get it. There's a lot of angst and urgency and feeling of, man, this guy, what is he doing? There's a method to his madness. And as I wrote in my article, there are a lot of other great things happening for Miami's program right now in terms of structurally becoming the type of Power 5 program that you need. And that's developmental staff. I spoke to Rudy Fernandez a couple of weeks ago. He was on my podcast as well. Rudy, of course, was the one, behind hiring Mario and Dan Radakovich, the new athletic director. Julio Frank's right-hand man. He talked about it with me that, they had one person assigned as developmental staff. Clemson had 12. They know all about Clemson because Radakovich ran that program. And when he was doing his homework, found out Clemson has 12 people. So 12 developmental staff, people that work in terms of massages, getting kids tutored, whatever it is, all the on-campus stuff that you need, the one-on-one attention that these kids need to keep them in line, to keep them focused, to do all the things they're supposed to do. Miami had one guy in that position last year under Manny Diaz. Mario made sure when he signed on the dotted line that he got just as much as Clemson, if not more. So all of those hirings, all those other jobs are being put in place. I also mentioned the Andrew Rogers kid, the kid that was at Michigan State, helping them running their transfer portal. We saw what Michigan State did in 1 year running the transfer portal, right? Going from 4 wins or whatever it was, 2 wins to winning 11 games in the Peach Bowl. So
can I follow up on something there?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you do a story? Maybe you did and I missed it. Can you do a story on that guy and how is there a skill or something to follow this transfer portal? Because it's thousands of kids that are in this thing.
Right.
So how do you decipher all of this? How do you find everything? How do you, what is it? Categorize it or whatever you do for the head coach? Because I'm really interested to see how that whole process, because obviously if you hired somebody to do that, then there has to be some kind of a skill set. It's not just some secretary going, all right, let me write his name down. It's Andy Ellisberg. Yes.
Right.
Offensive lineman, 6'7", leaving the Heat, going to, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
there has to be something there, right? Because if they're taking him away from Michigan State, you just said, look what he did at Michigan State. So there's something to this thing, right?
Oh, absolutely. One, first of all, there's a relationship. Rogers is his father coached Alonzo Highsmith at Columbus. He was one of the assistant
Okay.
coaches at Columbus back in the day. Grew up in Stuart, Florida. So this is a homecoming for him, so to speak. And obviously, there's the Columbus connection, right, to Cristobal and everybody else, Mirabal on the staff. So he's a
The
young
Columbus
kid.
Mafia.
The Columbus Mafia. Yeah, he's 26 years old. Now, look, I did a story on the guy who used to be, in charge of watching the transfer portal for Miami. This is back even, when Manny Diaz first took over. I can tell you that process, when the transfer portal was first sort of starting out, this guy was overloaded. He wasn't just doing the transfer portal. He was also working on, recruiting, scouting. So now there's somebody specifically tied to just monitoring the transfer portal all day. That's what this guy does. And it's this is about college staffs adjusting to what's changing, right, in the world, right? And so a lot of times, just so you know, when kids put their name in the transfer portal, what you get, okay, what these guys look at, and I've seen it. I've actually seen the actual transfer portal. We have some writers at The Athletic who have links to get into this thing, right? Really good team at The Athletic. Oh,
nice.
So these guys, what you see is a name, an
So
email.
they're half writers, half hackers.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
All right. Athletic hiring hackers. Attention all, the New York Times and The Athletic hiring hackers. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I appreciate that. That made me laugh. So anyway, when these kids put their name in the transfer portal, it's not like all of a sudden there's a whole profile on them. It's a name, it's an email, and a school and the sport that they play. Nothing on the position, nothing on height and weight, no scouting reports, none of that. So now think about it. It's just like an NFL department, right? Player personnel department.
You've got to
what happens?
all that.
You got to decipher all of that information and break it down. This kid does that. And he communicates with the coaches on a daily, hourly basis.
Because it's a timely thing. Because
it's all about who's first.
Somebody else, and it might be a specific talent that you all need, and boom, first come, first serve. Kind of like,
Right. Yeah, you got to jump on it quickly, and you got to have a good system. And some guys are more efficient at it than others. And again, as I mentioned before, the guy who did it when the transfer portal first started at Miami, he was doing that and high school recruiting stuff. Imagine all those tasks. How's that person going to do as good a job if he's just not focused on that? So there's essentially college scouting departments where these guys create folders now, just like the guys did in the NFL back in the day. And they have folders for thousands of players. And they keep track of every information, every recruit who's been on your campus, every little detail. So that if you want to reach out to that kid or that parent or whoever's in the transfer portal, you don't just have to go through the email address. You have a whole database.
Did you write that story already?
I wrote this one a couple years ago for The Athletic. It's one of the first stories I wrote of how the transfer portal worked.
Okay. But things have to have changed and
they're just
evolved since then.
They're much more evolved, much more efficient. And this
you got to do it again, bro. You got to do that story again.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I can sit down and talk with Andrew at some point. Hopefully,
not only that, you should try to get somebody in another school.
Yeah.
To see how it is on the competition side, all that kind of stuff.
I think that's a perfect story idea. I'm going to pitch it to some of the other guys at The Athletic to see if maybe we talk to different people. And listen, David Ubman did a story this week actually talking to people that involved in the transfer portal for The Athletic for us. You can go to The Athletic and read that story. In fact, I hadn't retweeted it yet. Yeah, David, just the secrets of the transfer portal. It's kind of like very similar to what you were talking about. But it's as far as Miami and this kid and his tactics, I would love to know some of what he does to be so efficient at it and to be so good at it to land quality players. So again, college football's changing, man. Like everybody's talking about getting rid of divisions. I mean, this we could go on and on for hours talking about stuff, man. This is interesting stuff. And we got a great coach here now in South Florida, great recruiter. I mean, this guy is just relentless as far as recruiting. I mean, I don't know how many head coaches spend as many hours as Mario does recruiting, but he's just the intensity of it, calling parents and cousins and whoever he needs to talk to. He's constantly on the phone. And I think eventually this thing's going to turn around, man. It's going to take a little while. He's got to get the roster right. He's got to get that offensive line, that defensive line right.
Follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. Subscribe to The Athletic so you can get all those juicy stories and some great insight. And who knows, they might teach you how to hack too. All these kind of things. It's all possible at The Athletic. Anyway, follow him on Twitter at Manny_Navarro. All right, Manny, have a great weekend, my brother. We'll catch up on Tuesday.
Yep, take care.
You got it. There you go. Our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CFs, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Okay, we are back. Omar Kelly will be joining us in a couple of minutes, and we'll definitely get some Dolphin talk. Appreciate my man Manny Navarro as always. By the way, we do want to remind you that Sloman's is, of course, a proud sponsor of our program. We've been telling you about Sloman's now for a little while, and we appreciate those of you that have called Sloman's, and you are now on board and protected by Sloman's like we are in our home. That's why we tell you all the time, listen, right now, 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. And listen, the first 40 Big O listeners right now, you're going to get a free doorbell camera. All right? 1-800-ALARM-ME. I love my Sloman's alarm. It is so easy to use. They program it so a dummy like me can actually understand. If I can understand it and use it, you can too. And it is a luxury at any time. I can check on my dogs. I can check on my house. If somebody delivers something yesterday, which, by the way, Nature Bee delivered something yesterday, and I was able to see the package there on the porch. And so, all of these things are a positive. All right. So this is what I want you to do. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME. Protect your home, protect your business, protect your family, protect your pets. I mean, that's what it's all about. And right now, you're going to get a free doorbell camera for a limited time. It goes directly connected with your smartphone and your Sloman's Shield. And listen, we're also going to give you a free customized home security system with professional installation. And listen, when you use their low-cost central station monitoring, you're going to get an LED touchscreen pad, a motion detector, 3-arm doors, and a backup battery. And the Sloman's installers, they were in my house a couple of months ago. They do an awesome job of explaining everything to you and showing you how to use the alarm and, little features like, sometimes sensors will go out, and maybe it's a window somewhere in your house and it doesn't allow you to then, set the alarm. Well, you can actually go directly to that sensor on your pad and disable that one. Call Sloman's and they'll come over and fix that. But meanwhile, you can still use your alarm. You know what I'm saying? And so even if you're worried about that one window for a day or two before Sloman's gets there, you do have motion detectors. So there you go. So these are the things that you're going to love about Sloman's Home Security. Great service, folks. Keep your family safe. 1-800-ALARM-ME. Tell them that Big O sent you. 1-800-ALARM-ME. The first 40 Big O listeners that call in will get a free doorbell camera from Sloman's Home Security. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? All right. We got a bunch of what do we got here on the chat board? All right, let's calm down the crap on the chat board. All right. James says reasons reported that the Finns are waiting on Harbaugh until National Signing Day, February 3 for his decision. I'm going to disagree with reasons. Harbaugh's not in the mix at all. Okay, so I don't know what to tell you. Harbaugh not in the mix. Okay. What am I going to do? I don't know about that. What else do we have here on the chat board? I don't see much there. Panthers, by the way, defeated the Golden Knights 4-1. Knight had 24 saves. Bennett with 2 goals. Barkov with a goal and an assist. They've got the Sharks on Saturday at the FLA Live Arena. The Heat are back in action tonight, taking on the Clippers at FTX Arena. Got a bunch of stuff there. Let's do this. Let's take a really quick break. Let's open the door for our man Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. The Big O Radio Show is home for the hardcore Dolphins fan. That's why we give you Omar Kelly twice a week. Buckle up. It's time for the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show.
All right, there we are. There he is, Omar Kelly and the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. What happened? Oh, he got glasses on. Oh, future's so bright you got to wear shades. Is that the deal?
I knew you were gonna make that reference. No, I'm just
white people reference. Is that what it is?
I had to get dressed up, so I'm ready. I'm literally ready to leave the house when I'm finished with you, so I can go shoot a I Am Athlete thing. So I had to get all stylish.
I got it. All right. Okay. So there you go. He doesn't get stylish for us. He gets stylish for others. That's what it is.
Half the time I'm not even wearing pants with you.
I got you. Too much information now. All right. So you're doing the show in underwears now. I mean, that's just not right. All right. Anyway, some people won't let go here on the chat board, the Harbaugh thing. Everything I'm hearing, Harbaugh's not even on the radar for Are you hearing that too?
Ross flat out said, if Harbaugh goes to the NFL, it's not going to be me hiring him.
Right.
Like, let's be real about it. Michigan is his number 1B franchise. And
look out if it's not 1A. You just may not say it.
I'm being nice because he writes the checks for this one. So generally, whoever I write the checks for, I would put first. But yes, he also makes the money from this one too. He doesn't make money from Michigan, so I'm gonna have to put Michigan in 1B.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean, his net worth. I mean, the net worth of this franchise, the value of this franchise has tripled since his ownership. So he's gotta, and he put everything he had into it. So this has got to be number one.
Yeah, no, you would figure, but the fact that he doesn't own the other one, but yet he's writing, hundreds and millions of dollars.
But that's Ross. That's
your love there, bro. That's absolute love there.
He's vowed to give away half of his net worth. So, putting it in your alma mater and your football team. Okay, great. Not to say that giving away half your net worth is not significant, because I damn sure ain't giving away half my net worth. But yeah,
we got kids. I mean, that's where you would give your net worth to.
That's all my. That's the only thing that gets my net worth. Kids and a wife.
Right. That's it. That's the only people that would get my net worth. You know what I'm saying? So maybe for him, I don't know. It's I'm sure he's got enough he can spread around a little bit. So that's the difference for Ross. All right. So the process of everybody taking their time now. So it looks like next week might be the week then, finally, right? That's kind of what it looks like, that maybe the following week is the week where we're going to see a lot of dominoes fall around the NFL.
Yeah, I think so. The first domino that fell was, some of the GMs got hired, and then the GMs are basically trying to land the people that they propose as their top choices. You saw Denver pick Aaron Rodgers as offensive coordinator, hoping and praying that, you know, it seals the deal. And let's be real about it.
Do you know this? Did you know this? Okay. The Denver Broncos traded for Craig Morton. I know you're kind of young, but Craig Morton was a great quarterback for them with Rick Upchurch and the Orange Crush and all
No
that
idea
stuff.
who that is, but go ahead.
I know. I'm an old fart. So that's their first great quarterback. They traded for him. John Elway, their second great quarterback, they traded for him.
Peyton Manning, they traded for him.
And now Aaron Rodgers. They've never, it's not a John Elway thing. Since the AFL, they have never drafted their own star quarterback. How about that?
As somebody who covers the Dolphins, who's been stuck in mediocrity land for 2 decades, who cares how you got them?
No, I'm just saying
yeah.
it's pretty. You know, the Dolphins drafted Greasy and they drafted Marino.
Yeah, but
and they drafted the next great one in Tua. Now you're off the bandwagon, but the next great one's been drafted too. You just don't know that yet.
Okay.
And, so I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this question. If hiring Hickey, what's this dude's name?
Dennis Hickey.
No, not Hickey. The guy who just got hired in Denver.
Hackett. Yes, Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett.
If hiring Hackett meant you got Aaron Rodgers, or the possibility you're a 50-50 shot to get Aaron Rodgers.
With that defense, they're an automatic.
Would you do it?
Of course you would.
Here?
Yeah, dude. Oh no, here no. I would not do it here.
Man, you crazy.
No, I would not do it here because you're not a quarterback away from a championship, so there's no guarantees. Where in Denver, they've got everything in place pretty much to be a Super Bowl contender right away. Their line's pretty decent. They got a decent running game. They got some
receivers,
right? And they got a nasty defense, bro. You just put that guy in, and then he's got his own offensive coordinator. We don't have his offensive coordinator. We don't have a line yet. We don't have a running game yet. We only have
but if he wanted to come
one reliable receiver.
But if he wanted to come here, you're turning your nose up. I know.
At this situation,
keep your to a non-membership.
Yeah, because no, it's not that. You're missing my point. You're going to give up a ton of cap space and picks, and you're not complete to finish him off. So there's not with Tua, at least here with those picks, you over the next 2 years, you'll be able to finish it up.
Whatever, get the quarterback.
I just think the window is closer in
Whatever.
It is Miami. I'm just being honest.
Get the quarterback. Stop.
I get it. You're off the bandwagon, so you have given up on Tua. I have not.
No, I am saying
you gave up on Tua. You gave up.
If
I don't
a supermodel wants to date me, we're dating.
I'm not dating the crazy bitch with an axe, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Oh,
I'm just like that guy. That guy doesn't even talk to his parents. I had his brother on once. The PR person goes to me, "Hey, talk about anything except Aaron." I mean, it's just it's just, this guy's a weirdo, bro. I'm just
Yeah, he's a weirdo who's MVP 2 times in a row. Like,
yeah, I know, but since the thing out there is that quarterbacks don't need anything. Well, he got his one title.
He needs stuff. He just needs. I don't know why he would come to the AFC West. Jesus Lord. But hey, you're Aaron Rodgers.
Denver's pretty good, Omar. If you're him, you want to go to Denver. You want to go to New Orleans. Well,
no, I want to go to. I want to stay in the NFC.
Left.
I want to stay in the NFC because that's AFC right now is stacked.
No, I know, but there are. But I don't care about stacked. If I'm Aaron Rodgers, I'm thinking who's really close. With the right coach, New Orleans and him, boom. With the right coach and Denver, boy, you're right there, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe. I don't know.
And if Russell leaves Seattle, then maybe you go there and maybe you elevate that there. You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of places he can go to that they're actually kind of close. That with him, they might be over the top. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, now
get quarterback.
Now let me follow up. While as I've been telling you for 2 weeks, Dable is the guy they want, but obviously, the Giants also may want him.
May.
Whatever. If they want him, if they get him, okay. This I don't know. Okay, I knew from the get go that Dable was the guy. Even though I want Caldwell, and apparently nobody wants him. Dable was the guy they wanted. I'm getting the feeling that if Dable is not there, it's Mike McDaniel.
Okay.
You? What do you say?
I
Who's
say
the
okay.
You agree that? So you're agreeing, or are you just saying okay?
I'm just saying okay. I don't know.
What's your gut tell you? What's your gut tell you?
What does my gut tell me? My gut tells me they're going to make the wrong selection. If you want to know what my gut tells me.
Okay, let's leave the negative attitude out the door.
Oh, come on. Have you known me? Do you know who you're talking to?
Tell me what your gut tells you on who's the bad person they're going to pick at number 2. If it's not Dable, then what is the mistake you think they'll make at number 2? Let me phrase
the mistake. The mistake I think they'll make. I drop hints or what I think are gems in the columns that I write. Whatever it is that I hear happening or going on, I drop hints. When I told you that, hey, this ain't really an attractive job, that was because I knew Dable was going to pick the Giants job. And now my last column was, you should have learned from all the lessons of all the coaches that you've hired that you need a leader of men.
Right.
You don't need an offensive genius mastermind. You need a leader of men.
Right.
And
somebody that knows how to hire real coaches and can delegate.
Yes.
So you don't have to micromanage everything that Flo did. In other words,
my fear and concern about Mike McDaniel, who I hear is a genius.
Okay.
But my fear and concern about Mike McDaniel is, and understand that the 49ers are exactly how I would build an NFL team.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
But my fear and concern about Mike McDaniel is, based on the people that I have talked to, he's not a leader of men, and he might struggle assembling a staff.
Right. That's why if Cam Wolf is right, what he reported was that they're keeping their defensive staff, a staff that you like, by the way. So that's why the Dable McDaniel combo makes a lot of sense. New coaches.
Dable McDaniel. No, not Dable McDaniel.
Yes, no. Listen to me. The two guys I'm saying it's Dable McDaniel.
Oh, okay.
So combination of those two guys, you bring them in, they handle offense. Defense is already in.
I don't think it's wise, healthy, or smart. I don't think it's wise, healthy, or smart to force anybody on a staff.
I totally agree with you, but in this case, they don't have the luxury of saying.
Don't make the luxury.
No. Can I finish? Listen, Jim Caldwell has done this in a couple of places. He's built his own staffs, so he can walk in and say, "No, gentlemen, I will build my staff. I know how to build a staff."
Mm-hmm.
Mike McDaniel and Brian Dable have never built a staff, and since you fail every time hiring a guy that can't build a staff, i.e., Joe Philbin, i.e., Brian Flores, well, if you like this defensive staff, now you hire an offensive coach, and at least the offensive coach already has a defensive staff and continuity in place. So in this case, it might be better than in the other cases because those guys couldn't build staffs.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
No.
Okay.
I don't agree with you because ultimately the number one thing you need as a head coach, in my opinion, is a leader of men. And while I have not ever met Mike McDaniel, and this isn't a Mike McDaniel poop fest or, listen, you don't know these guys. We don't know these guys. I know Dayball and I don't know him. So whoever they pick, best of luck to you. God bless you. But I would hope that they have learned from this not picking a coach who is a leader of men. And And I really hope that they learn from their past experiences. My fear and disappointment is I don't think they have. Just my.
So who's the selection for you?
Who's the selection of people that they've interviewed?
No, you. Who would be the guy you hire then?
Doug Peterson.
The guy that lost the locker room?
Just about every coach.
That's an oxymoron you just did.
No, just about every coach I've ever dealt with loses a locker room. After a while, you lose
the locker room, my brother. Go talk to people that worked with him. They'll tell you.
I get it. And at some points,
you can't tell me leader of men, and then you mentioned Doug Peterson, bro. You can't do that, Omar. That doesn't make any sense.
Backup quarterback. He won a championship with a backup quarterback.
I understand that he won a championship, my man. I get that.
It's very easy.
Hell of a team.
It's very easy. There's so many common threads between guys who lost locker rooms, and they all lost in different ways.
Yeah, but nobody's interviewing the guy. Nobody.
He had a couple of interviews. He didn't get any jobs.
Like nobody wants him, Omar.
And just because nobody wants Jim Caldwell doesn't mean he's not the right guy for the job.
That might be the health thing. Okay,
I don't care. There's a lot of reasons.
Health. Peterson is young and no health issues.
Doesn't mean he's not. Just because nobody's interviewing him or offered him jobs doesn't mean he's not the right guy for the job.
I know, but think about that. There are 7 jobs available right now. There were 8. He won a Super Bowl, and nobody.
He's not don't know what the hell they're doing.
He's not a finalist for any of these jobs.
Okay, and you act like Jim Caldwell. Jim Caldwell has the best resume and credential of everybody out there.
That's right.
And he ain't hot on them.
It's got to be age and health. It's got to be the health issues.
We're only speculating. We don't know. And I do agree with you. I think that is my theory. But it is what it is, man. Listen.
It's who was it? Ira made a good point, or was it Ira earlier in the week? That, I was talking about how Belichick's old and Carroll's old and all, but they hired them years ago and they got old in the process. That's why they're still there. But to hire a guy at 67, that's a little bit of a difference. And that was a great point that I didn't look at it that way.
Yes.
So
and he's got
health issues. And health issues.
I'm personally not. And I know as Steve Ross.
Dude, I want him. I want him. I'm with you.
I know as Steve Ross, an older gentleman myself, I'm not hiring a guy to a job that I think is going to kill him. I wouldn't do it. Like,
damn, Omar.
No, I'm dead serious. Like,
oh man,
I'm being honest with you. I'm being honest with you. That job will kill you.
Yeah,
will it not?
Yeah, well, he got a little close to Flo and walked away, so he's got restraint.
Okay,
then he got close to Flo and go, oh, it's the big one. I'm coming, honey. Let me walk away. Oh, it subsided. Okay, and so it's the Flo thing. It just as long as
I can't. Flow, and I have no comment on that. I can't. I cannot neither confirm nor deny. Just move on. Hey man, listen. Right, we all have that coworker where we're like, I ain't putting up with that. Bleep. Like I'm sorry. Like, and
remember that lady with that drop? I ain't got time for that.
I ain't got time for that. That's what I love about guys with and this is why a lot of people don't really necessarily go with the aged veteran, guy like the Dan Henning. Remember Dan Henning? Who was Sperano's offense coordinator? Dan Henning ain't give a goddamn about nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Because he was too old to care. He did not care. He say whatever the hell he wanted to say. You want to fire me? Fire me. I don't give a damn.
Yep.
Those are the guys I love.
Yeah. Well, this is how life is. First, 10, 12 years of your life, you have no filter. Then when you're in your teens, you start to learn to have a filter and all that, and you become an adult.
I ain't never learned.
Then all of a sudden, you get to your 60s and your 70s, and that filter from when you were a kid starts to reappear again. It disappears, and all of a sudden, you're once again no filter. So it's at the beginning of your life and at the end of your life. are those ages where people just say, "Oh no, he's young. Oh, he's old." You know, you got to understand. So it's like understandable that the filters.
Absolutely. I unfortunately have not really developed a filter. I'm working on it. I'm developing. I'm becoming more filtered. Like people still think that I tweet the way I used to tweet. Like, nah, I don't tweet the way I used to tweet. I still tweet a little reckless, but I've cleaned up my act a little bit.
Well, you just had a coach killed on the field, so I don't know. I'm not exactly sure about that. I don't know.
I'm not going to kill him on the field. He's going to die. He's going to die in the work week process.
You just had Jim Caldwell dying on us here in the Dolphin building,
bro. I mean, it's legitimate. You got heart issues. You come on.
Imagine if he flops like right next to the slide, and then he just falls into the slide, and then.
And you've seen so many of these coaches have health issues over the past couple of years, and Bruce Arians is one that had it, and Todd Bowles had it, and and Andy Reid has had it. Like, man, this job kills you. Like, it will kill you.
Yeah, it's like being president. You walk into the office, with your colored hair, and then you come out with white hair.
Yeah,
they all come out like that.
You see my grays? The Dolphins are killing me slowly.
Yeah, well, they've killed all of us. They've shortened all our lives. That's for damn sure. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly and catch his work at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. And you can catch him starting next week, Tuesdays and Fridays here on the show.
So you want Mike McDaniel?
No, I didn't say I want Mike McDaniel. I didn't say I want Brian Daboll. I want Jim Caldwell. But I told you from the get-go that
your choices
badly. And I'm now getting the feeling that it's Daboll McDaniel. So the fallback plan is McDaniel. That's just what I'm thinking right now.
So, okay.
I've known from the get-go that Daboll was the guy they want, and I've said it from day one that they want Daboll badly. But now I'm kind of, seeing through the trees. It looks to me like McDaniel is the fallback plan. That's all I'm saying. So if the Giants take Daboll, McDaniel comes here. That's what I'm saying. Do you agree or disagree? I don't want any comments about that they'll suck and they'll fail if you get Daboll or McDaniel. I'm just saying, do you think that's the 1-2 options for the Dolphins? That's it. Can I corner you on that?
The Dolphins will bleep this up.
I can't even get a prediction from the man.
I'm not listening.
Well, I'm kind of getting a prediction that the Dolphins
anytime I make a prediction,
failed and they'll screw up the coach. Okay, I got it.
Anytime I make a prediction, fans get all in their feelings and want to be all sensitive and
welcome to my world for 30 years. Come on.
You don't like him. You never liked him. I'm like, okay, all right. Like, I warned you for 3 years about Brian Flores. Now he got whacked for what I warned you, and then now I'm the bad guy.
Well, I warned you he was getting.
No, you did. You did.
Okay,
you did.
He was getting. I warned you.
No.
I told you he was going roughshod through the entire building. I kept telling you, go check it out. You'll see. You'll find out. He's going roughshod through that building. They wanted to fire his ass last year, bro. They just tolerated it a little more. They thought he would change, and it wouldn't change. And eventually, the line in the sand was drawn after 1-7. They said, we're screwed. This guy screwed us again this year.
Listen, I have heard, and I'll go on this. I have heard so much crap from all different angles and all different parties, and even Flores' justification and what and the excuse for his behavior and antics, and I'm just like, I'm sorry.
He actually made Jeff Ireland look like a choir boy at times, and that's scary.
I don't know about that. Listen, Jeff Ireland wasn't a jerk. Jeff Ireland wasn't Jeff Ireland wasn't a penis. No, he wasn't. No. He made enemies. He
made some serious enemies.
He made enemies. They all make enemies.
He's better now, but he'll tell you he lacked the people skills then. He'll tell you.
He did. He had horrible. I didn't tell you he didn't have horrible people skills.
He'll tell you.
Yes, he'll tell you.
You talk to him and he'll tell you. And
Yeah,
you deal with him now.
I deal with him now. It's a totally different guy.
He's a different guy, right?
And you that's my thing. You learn from these experiences.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yes, you're right. You're right. As human beings, we're supposed to learn from our experiences, right?
Supposed to.
Yeah, exactly. I learned. Now I'm not going to be involved with corporate anymore. I'm running the bitch myself. That's it. See, we learned. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Omar Kelly. And please subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. More importantly, support our local journalists who do an excellent job. We'll see you on Tuesday. Have a fantastic weekend, my friend.
All right. Talk to you later.
You got it. There you go. I like it. Omar Kelly. And the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. And by the way, Nature B is for me. And use my code Big O to get free shipping. 27 vitamins and amino acids, 28 minerals, antioxidants. You will not fade in the afternoon. Trust me, as a guy that needs energy, putting this entire thing together, I need energy. I need Nature B. And my favorite thing, I tell you all the time, I've been saying it for 20 years. Okay, whether they're sponsoring or at times when they're not, I will always talk about my Nature B and how it boosts my immune system. And that's the reason why I never forget to take my 2 capsules of Nature B, because it's 20 years of protection. It's only a few colds over that time. And I do it because I take it very serious. And in a virus-filled world like it is today, Nature B is more important than ever. For those of you that want to boost your natural immune system, Nature B is the way you do it. I've been doing remotes all over during the pandemic and everything. Yeah, I wash my hands. I would wear my mask when I have to wear my mask. I keep my distance, but people are still getting it. And I'm not saying Nature B, I'm not going to tell you, it's going to stop you from getting anything, but it stops me from getting colds. Okay? I haven't gotten any viruses either. I've been lucky. No Omicron, no Delta, none of that. But, I love my Nature B because it really boosts my immune system every single day. Stronger nails, smoother skin, fuller hair. And, my hair grows like crazy. That's why I'm telling you. Go to the website, natureb.com. Use my code Big O to get free shipping at natureb.com. For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When you need your warehouse looking good while staying efficient, there's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City in Hialeah. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. Pallet Rack City is the company you need when you want your warehouse sporting the finest racks in the business. After all, who doesn't love a great rack? Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547. For over 25 years, South Floridians have counted on Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises for their roofing needs. In South Florida, we battle the sweltering heat, rain, winds, and all kinds of tropical storms. That's why when it comes to protecting your family, home, or business, call Tommy B. Butts Jr. Enterprises.com. 954-735-9826 or 954-394-1411 and ask to speak to Tommy, the owner. They specialize in all kinds of roofs. All work fully guaranteed with the customer's complete satisfaction. A-plus rated member of the Better Business Bureau. Licensed and insured. There's no buts about it. When your roof needs repair or replacement, go to TommyBButtsJrEnterprises.com. A certified whitening contractor.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
South Florida's premier law enforcement agency is now hiring individuals like you. The Fort Lauderdale Police Department is now accepting applications for non-certified and certified police officer positions. Minimum requirements and qualifications can be found at flpdjobs.com. That's flpdjobs.com. Are you ready? The city of Fort Lauderdale is an equal opportunity employer. The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
The Big O Radio Show is brought to you by HialeahParkCasino.com. Enjoy simulcast racing, dining, a magnificent poker room, and a casino with the most popular machines on the market. OKCoin.com. Download the app on iOS, Google Play, or Windows. OKCoin.com with over 50 different coins and incredible staking rewards. Pallet Rack City. There's only one place to find the finest racks in the business. Pallet Rack City. 305-424-8547. That's 305-424-8547.
The Big O Radio Show originates from the OK Coin Studios. Invest a little time and save big. Just set the recurring buy and pay, zero transaction fee after your first purchase. The Big O Radio Show is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley from the OK Coin Studios. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
Hey, we thank Omar Kelly for joining us here on the program, coming to you live from, of course, Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines, broadcasting live from the OK Coin Studios. And we thank OK Coin, of course, a proud sponsor of our program. It looks like maybe the market might be bouncing back. Maybe the dip is done because it is climbing up. It's at 37,278. It really hasn't climbed out of the 37, but it hasn't had that other dip. So I'm wondering if it's still staying a little sideways or slowly going to start creeping up. There's some things in the market that are green, but overall there's still some red there, like Shiba Inu too. Also, I think another opportunity there to after it went all the way to 90, it's been at 19, 20, 21, which if it goes back up to 90, that means you'll 4 times your money from where it's at right now. So these are things that, and it's going to go up past that eventually, once the market bounces back. I mean, the buying opportunities that are going on right now where you still have some incredible bargains. Polkadot at $18 right now. I mean, it's just an absolute freaking joke. It really is. Anyway, great night for Cuban boxing tomorrow night at Hialeah Park. I mean, tonight. I'm sorry. Tonight. Tomorrow night is Kansas and Marshall Tucker band. Tonight, great boxing night in Hialeah. Those of you that want tickets, your tickets will be at will call. The fights start at 6 o'clock. We've got 10 bouts. It's going to be a really cool event. You'll be under roof. So I see there's some cloudiness there. So just in case, if you're concerned, the seats are under roof, so you're all right. So you're not going to get wet. But check it out, man. If you got a chance, it's cheap. Tickets are cheap. If you don't live in town, you can watch it on Fight TV, FITE.TV. And the headlining bout, the super bantamweight with Johnny Argalagos and Michelle Banquez, is going to be one hell of a fight. The ninth fight, which is the second to last fight with George Romero from Miami, who's 21-0-1 with 13 KOs, is a guy you want to definitely see. the super lightweight fight with Abram Martinez from Dallas, Texas, who's 9-0 with 7 KOs, and Orestes Velasquez from Cienfuegos, Cuba, is 2-0 with 2 knockouts. There's some good fights. Ariel Perez de la Torre is 6-0 from Camagüey, Cuba, taking on Drew Carell, who will have none of that, by the way, from Daneville, Virginia. He is 10-1 with 8 knockouts. So there's going to be some really good fights. Eric Lanza, we interviewed yesterday. He was terrific. If you missed that interview, it's there on the podcast. I thought he was excellent, man. I thought his conversation was really, really good stuff.
No, it was great. And I want to say, get there. Fight started 6. And you want to get there because the 6'8" heavyweight
is the first fight.
Yeah. So
yeah, you got to see this guy. This guy's 6'8". Ricardo Aguero, Cuban, making his pro debut against a gentleman from Utah named Brandon Grundy, who has only 1 fight. He's got a loss. He's 0-1-0. So obviously another young fighter. I don't know how he's going to get into this guy at 6'8". Seriously, but he's just a like, it's just impressive to see a human being that size.
Yeah, when I was doing the camera right in front, I had to lift the camera up and then I had to bring it back down a little bit because I had to make sure I got both of them in the picture.
Exactly. Well, I can imagine.
Guy's huge. Imagine getting hit.
No, guy's enormous.
Just jabbed.
Guy's enormous, dude. There we go. No wonder it was uncomfortable on the damn front of my hat. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of really interesting fights. So come on out and check it out. And some of these cats, man, they might end up becoming stars, and it's actually a pretty cool experience. Really, really cheap card, by the way. Damn, a Utah guy is there. Yes, yeah, we got a Utah guy here. I'm sure everyone likes Tua as a person, but player, well, that's, I guess that's the sad part for some of you out there. Let's see, what else do we have here? Okay. All right, so we got just a whole bunch of Tua bashing. Is that what we're doing here? Is that what it is? So I guess I don't even bother looking at the chat board then. I guess if you want to send a question, you can send it in super chat, because I'm not going to be fishing through all your stupid ass arguments. Because if you guys are just going to be insulting each other on the chat board for 2 hours here, and I'm not going to be trying to look for any kind of questions or anything like that. I'll just do the talk show, and I won't worry about the damn chat board, and that's it. So if you want a question, send it in on a super chat, because I'm not fishing through all this bullshit that you guys got on the chat board. All right, you guys want to go argue amongst yourselves. If you want to ruin the chat board for the radio show, then go ahead and do that. Or maybe what I'll do is I'll just start blocking everybody that is eating crap on the chat board. Okay, how about that? Maybe I can do that, and that's what we'll do. That way it'll be a lot easier for me. Okay, but I'm not going to be fishing through for your questions when all I see is arguments going on between all of you out there. What do you got?
Just because David Chiarana brought it up, but I had not said anything yet. Jerry Jones has said on his show that he does on the, 103 Fan or 106 Fan, Kellen Moore believes he'll be back in Dallas next season. Just for
yeah. From what I'm hearing, nobody really wants him. So, something tells me he'll be back, because who the hell wants him? You know what I'm saying?
I just thought it was pretty funny when I read that they came out and said, more than likely he's going to be back. I was kind of like, that's because I don't know. The Dolphins are the only one that brought him in for a second interview. As of right now, there's still a lot of openings, so never know. But as of right now, the only second interview was with the Dolphins. And when you look at it, as you said, you look through the leaves, Daboll, McDaniel, and then you never know. They might go back to Vance Joseph before they go to Kellen Moore.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Kellen Moore, really, dude? Really? Kellen Moore? You're going to hire Kellen Moore? You know what? I might go Omar Kelly on you if they hire Kellen Moore. Ohio John, thank you for sending in. Now I don't have to look for a question. Ohio John says, why doesn't Jeff Fisher's name get mentioned in coaching circles anymore? You know that he's the coach now in the USFL, right? The Michigan Panthers. So I think, Ohio John, I think something must have happened in that experience in the Rams. And obviously there were a lot of things that went awry there with the Rams, but something behind the scenes with his coaches, with his decisions, with his communications, something. There's something there. That's what I was trying to explain to my man Omar. That okay, people want Doug Peterson, right? Now you have to take a step back and ask yourself. There were 8 jobs available. None of them wanted Doug Peterson. They might have given him a token interview, which is what it was. If he interviewed anywhere, it was kind of like a token interview. And trust me, you know how token interviews happen? Let me walk you through it. Agent has had a lot of success with certain teams. They've signed certain players. They have a good relationship with the front office and the ownership. They call him and they say, "Hey, man, I represent Doug Peterson too. Do me a favor. Give him an interview. Give him a chance. Give him a chance to impress you." And they might have thrown him a bone or two and interviewed him. But it's clear he's not a guy that won a Super Bowl, is not even a finalist anywhere. Think about that. So Jeff Fisher, think about it. It's been a constant thing. You know, nobody wants him. So you got to wonder what is floating around out there. What's floating around out there on Doug Peterson? The Jeff Fisher thing, it's already so old already. It's kind of like dead. Like he's dead in the NFL. That's why he's going to the USFL, because he's got no shot at going to the NFL. So whatever happened in the Rams, it was enough to end his career, period, in the NFL. And let me tell you something. On TV, all that, he was likable. Right? I kind of like Jeff Fisher when I would see him on TV and all that. I just don't know what happened, man. But something happened behind the scenes that we don't know about. And you know what? I know a couple people that were on his staff. I should ask. I'm not doing the rounds this year because I'm still building up the show. But next year, when I get in the groove again of making the trips, and we'll make more trips next year than we ever have, because we'll have more of a budget at that point. Corn Iowa Productions. I'm getting quick at reading that one now because I'm used to him coming in. With a little love on the super chat, he says, "Big O, will this show cover the USFL?" Yeah, I will. I always cover XFL, USFL. I cover all sports, man. So yes, if the USFL is playing, I will bring on a USFL reporter. I'll talk a little football. Maybe there's a Kane or an FIU or FAU player or something like that, and we'll be following them and things like that. So yeah, I've always been the guy that wants the USFL to succeed, the XFL to succeed, the new USFL. I've always wanted the secondary league to succeed. Dude, NFL Europe, I didn't care. I love football. So if you're going to give me extra football, and you know how some people, they kind of lose interest because obviously the level of football is not the same. I don't, because one of the things that I'm pretty consistent about, and I've always told you guys, I love the developmental part of it all, like the rebuilding of the Dolphins and all that kind of stuff. I love that. When the Heat early in the season, remember the injuries? I said, no, relax. This is a good thing. Let's find out about these young guys. And guess what? It's become a revelation, right? And so for me, I've always loved that. The farm kid, the big ass receiver that's in the league from the XFL. There are certain players around the league. PJ, who was playing in Carolina, he was so good in the USFL. In the NFL, it's been an absolute disaster for him. But there are some guys that actually translated over to the NFL and got an opportunity. And so I kind of follow those guys that actually had a cup of tea in the USFL, XFL, and then came over and played here in this league. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been that guy over the years. So yes, I will end up giving the USFL a little love. Will it dominate a show or anything? No, but there'll be a 10 or 15-minute segment dedicated to it. There's no doubt about it. Okay. I'm hooked to football. I love football. I really think Harbaugh is still lurking out there. Maybe another reason why we're holding steady at this time. No, he's not. There'll be no Harbaugh here. Let's see. Fisher wrecked Vince Young's career. Vince Young wrecked Vince Young's career. Okay. I'm not sure if you really followed what was going on with Vince Young. Vince Young did his own wrecking, dude. Not sure if you really remember what was going on with that dude. I cannot believe Leftwich is not being interviewed. We don't know if he can build a staff, Carla. You know what I mean? So, don't know. Or maybe they just think, he's a product of Brady. He's not really the guy. Sebastian Alvarez says, I love how Omar says most of these teams don't know what they're doing in regard to Peterson as if they didn't do their due diligence, and he knows more than when a $1 billion NFL franchise. Now, Sebastian, Omar might be right. There are some teams that don't know what they're doing. Now, to your point, to defend what you're saying, there's no doubt that they must have done their homework. And when I see no one interested in Peterson, no one interested in Jeff Fisher for years now, there's something there. There's a story there. Somebody should actually unearth it. Let's see. What else do we have? John says, I'm like Big O. I just love football. I watch any football I can. Gilbert says, Big O show. It's always entertaining to watch your show. Love it, brother. Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. PJ was in the XFL. Yeah, he was. He was the Houston Admirals quarterback. What a loser I am, right? JP says, remember when Tommy Maddox won the original XFL MVP, then had a brief stint with the Steelers pre-Roethlisberger? Yeah. Yeah. And remember, he got initially drafted by the Broncos, right? I think Tommy Maddox, and then didn't make it. I think that's how it went. It makes sense because if you got drafted by the Broncos, you're a failure. Right? I mean, that's the law. You can't draft a quarterback if you're the Broncos because you haven't been allowed. Think about that, folks. Is that an amazing thing? Think about being a fan base. And your team's been around since the 60s. So we're talking over 60 years now that you've been around. And in 60 years, the franchise in 60 different drafts has never been able to draft a quarterback of their own. Think about that. I mean, that takes a skill set that's really special. It's almost impossible to be a failure for 60 years and never find one quarterback. That's impressive. I got to bring on Mike Kliss next week. Mike's my buddy. He's been covering the Broncos for a while. And he's been around a while. I could call Albright too, who does an excellent job of covering the Broncos also, and is a friend of the program. And he's also a crypto guy like me. And he and I are big Crow guys. I know he was loving that last Crow run like I was. And because we're strong believers of Crow in the long term, it's going to be a freaking monster. But I know a couple of the guys that, I can probably pop around almost every city and say the same shit. But Kliss has been around for a while, like me. So I want to get, I'm going to have some fun with him on that because it's got to be a running joke in the city of Denver and for Bronco fans. Like, why would you ever draft a quarterback? Like, you've never hit on a quarterback. Like, Greasy is the most successful draft pick they've ever had. Brian Greasy.
doesn't it make it even worse when you have a Hall of Fame quarterback doing most of that drafting?
Yeah, no. Well, no, some of that drive. He
No,
hasn't owned the team.
no. I'm not trying to pull the Greer
Yeah.
thing. You know, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that way. He's been with the team for
Right,
forever.
Right. But yeah, no. Like Paxton Lynch.
Although he has been with the team for over 20 years,
Yeah,
right?
because he was one of the guys that was traded for.
Yeah.
You know? But that's crazy. They traded for Craig Moore and they traded for Elway. They traded for Peyton, and now they're going to trade for Aaron Rodgers. Listen, it doesn't matter how you win it. I don't care. Because it's kind of like the whole Pat Riley thing. I remember a few years back, I had the San Antonio Spurs idiots and the Warriors morons, and they were going after, oh, well, we built ours the right way. We drafted it. And it's like, who gives a crap, dude? Trade for it, sign it, draft it. I don't care. Win. You think the Yankees championships mean any less because you've signed all those free agents? No. They signed the right guys, and that's why they won those titles. And that's it. You know, who cares? But it is amazing that you've been drafting for 60 years and you've never hit on a franchise quarterback. Now, our Dolphins, they hit on Greasy, they hit on Marino, and they're going to hit on Tua. Yeah. I'm sure that'll piss some people off. Let's see. Big O, who are the picks for this weekend? You know what? Let me I didn't write down the spread, so I'd be lying to you if I knew it off the top of my head here. So I'm not going to pick without looking at the spreads. So we'll do that. And right now, it is 3.5 Rams. Over and under is 45.5. Kansas City is favored by 7.5. The over and under is 54.5. I'll tell you this, I'm going to go over on the Kansas City Cincinnati game. There will not be enough defense to stop those teams from scoring 55 points. So I'll go with the over on the Kansas City Cincinnati game. The 7.5 points, very interesting spread. That puts it like right at the border where if it was 6.5, I might lean KC. But because KC can't stop anybody really, and Cincinnati can score, I'm going to stay away from the point spread, and I'm going to go with the over 54.5 in that one. Rams in San Francisco. The Rams are favored by 3.5. I'm taking San Francisco. They have owned the Rams. They have dominated the Rams. They can punch the Rams in the mouth. And while Matt Stafford had his moment last week, I still need to see him do it on a consistent basis all the way through the Super Bowl to kind of put the nail on the coffin and say, yeah, he can be counted on. Now, he can't carry a team because if he does that, that's when Matt gets you in trouble. But if they run the ball and they're able to move that defense from San Francisco, which isn't going to be easy, but if they're able to do that, then Stafford can win this game because all he has to do is game manage. But if San Francisco puts him in a position where he has to bail him out with his arm, that's where San Francisco is going to force a mistake or two from Matt Stafford. I'm taking San Francisco plus 3.5 in that game until the Rams show me that they can win in a back alley brawl with the Niners. I'm not giving them their respect. I'm respecting the 49ers because they are the bully on the block and they own the Rams. So when the Rams show me the kind of toughness that San Francisco shows me, and let me tell you, I'm a little nervous about it because Deebo Samuels, there's no way he's 100%. But that is one tough hombre. And I am not going to second guess that hombre. Okay? Because that dude, you don't play football the way Deebo Samuels plays if you're not a tough dude. Okay? You've got to be the ultimate in toughness. And considering this league isn't as physical as it used to be, it's still brutal. It's still the kind of hits that can end your career. And that guy, as a running back, as a physical wide receiver, I mean, this is a guy that does not shy away from any kind of contact whatsoever. I can't tell you how impressed I am with Deebo Samuels, the man, in those games, because that's what I see. In a league where sometimes you see the guy that isn't willing to sell out for his teammates or isn't tough enough to hang in there at times. And I know it's a brutal sport, and I know to a degree everybody that plays it is tough, but tougher than Deebo Samuel, not a lot of them, bro. Not a lot of them. So I'm going to go San Francisco. I'm going to go against the grain here. By the way, smash the like button. Red A Horse Adventure says, just broke down some of Fisher to the Rams. Marvin Demoff was his agent. Kevin Demoff is currently the executive VP of operations and chief operating officer at the Rams. Well, I don't know what it is, bro, but all I can tell you, he is nuclear, basically. Nobody wants Jeff Fisher. Nobody. Yes, sir.
No, I was going to say your pick on the points pretty good. The Bengals and the Chiefs met January 2nd. 34-31 was the final.
Yeah, bro.
It's going to be
nobody's stopping anybody
way
there.
over.
Yeah.
That was actually the game that Cincinnati clinched the AFC North.
Burrow's a badass, bro.
Yeah, 4
touchdowns. You
touchdowns.
watch that guy play. That guy plays like, that guy plays like a high-level elite player. Out of all the young quarterbacks that have come into the league the last 2 or 3 years, he's the one guy. But, I mean, he's the number 1 overall pick, so they nailed it on that one. And that kid's the real deal, man. That kid's, I know, no wonder Miami tried to give up all those first-rounders and Cincinnati said, nah, we're good. We're happy with Joe Burrow. You better be happy with Joe Burrow. That kid is just awesome, man. The moxie just oozes out from that kid. Love it. I love it because I love a guy that, okay, you want to talk? I hate the guy that talks and then they can't back it up. But there's a guy that talks and backs up every moment of it, and you saw it at LSU. You knew he had it in him right when you saw it at LSU. So you cannot be surprised when you're watching it because it's not a matter of just winning. It was winning with that confidence. Sick. Very few guys are wired like that. That kid's special. He's the one guy that out of the young guys that I say, we can have opinions about all the other guys and everything is still kind of up in the air and they can put up numbers or whatever and it still doesn't prove anything to me. When I watch that guy and he wins games and he's the difference maker and all that, that's what I'm talking about. I haven't seen that yet from any of the other young guys that are in this league that have come into the league, including our boy Tua. Okay? But it's going to, that's something that doesn't necessarily come out right away sometimes. Burrow is very Marino freakish in that sense, that it just oozes out of him right from the second. And Danny was like that too. Danny, I can throw it through a hurricane, that kind of stuff. Let's see. JP says, to be totally honest, Miami doesn't have exactly a huge history of drafting QBs in the first round. Marino and Greasy, the others were what? Yeah, JP, and how many people in the NFL have drafted 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks? How many franchises? Can we name them? San Fran, Pittsburgh, Dallas. Huh? Who? Not yet. Soon. KC, yes. Len Dawson is in. And then eventually Mahomes will get in. They don't have anybody else. Not Elvis Gerbach or... No, they don't have anybody else. But there aren't a lot, bro. Seattle doesn't have 2. San Fran does. But I mentioned San Fran, didn't I? Yes, I mentioned San Fran, Dallas. There's only a couple of teams that have... Green Bay for sure. They've drafted 3. Starr, Favre, and now Rodgers. So they'll have 3 for sure. It's not a lot, dude. There aren't a lot. That's the problem with JP on sports. You got to learn sports, bro. You got to learn history. You know what I'm saying? The New England Patriots just actually drafted their first Hall of Fame quarterback because Steve Grogan is not a Hall of Famer. Good quarterback. Good quarterback. I like him, but he wasn't a Hall of Famer. Tough sumbitch, by the way. Steve Grogan, oh my God, that is a tough sumbitch. Cincinnati just drafted their first Hall of Famer if he continues at this path because Boomer's not making the Hall of Fame and Ken Anderson is not a Hall of Famer. Very good quarterback, too, Ken Anderson. God, he was a really good quarterback. If you really look at it, there aren't it's not Colts. That's a good one right there. Well, wait a minute. Well, no, they got Manning. That's right. Now I'm thinking Unitas Manning. I forgot about Manning for a moment there because I was thinking Luck. So, well, no, he may not get in, Although other guys have gotten in with short careers, but Luck was a Hall of Famer. God, man, what a shame. But there aren't a lot, man. There aren't a lot of quarterbacks. The Ravens have won 2 titles, and they've never drafted a Hall of Fame quarterback. Chargers, Dan Fouts. Nobody else. We'll see what Herbert does. But right now it's just Fouts. Know what I mean? So it's just, it's not this thing you make it sound like, we already mentioned Dallas Cardinals. Dallas, San Francisco, and Pittsburgh were the first 3 that came to mind right away. There aren't a lot of those. So, JP on sports, my brother, when you say something, don't pull it out of your ass. Okay? Think before you say something. Because then you say something stupid. And it's because why, JP? You're just so locked and loaded at wanting to take shots at the Dolphins that you just want to take a shot at the Dolphins right away. But if you're going to take a shot at the Dolphins, dude, at least be accurate. You know what I mean? Making it sound like what the Dolphins have done in drafting 2 Hall of Famers, that it's something that it's nothing, when it's actually something that's pretty special because very few teams have done it. Okay? So there you go. So it's kind of an oxymoron when you call yourself JP on sports. You could say JP on bad sports takes. That might be a little bit more accurate with what you're putting out there. Let's see what else. Cincinnati better build that line. He's tough as shoe leather, but he's going to get killed behind it. Actually, he already broke down once. So he's not. Tannehill lasted longer than Joe Burrow. It took Tannehill 6 years to blow out a knee, right? I want to say, wasn't it in his 5th or 6th year that he blew out his knee? And then he said, "Oh, magic horse of marble white, fix my knee tonight." And no, it didn't happen. Anybody remember that cartoon? It's a kid with the Pegasus. "Oh, marble horse of marble white, take me on a wicked flight," or something. You remember? I forgot the name of that cartoon. The kid used to stand back like this. I forgot. You're going to have to go to Boomerang to find that cartoon. I don't know the name of the cartoon. I forgot it now. I forgot. Damn, what's the name of that one? You know which cartoon I'm talking about? Just put cartoon or marble horse. Oh, no, or no, what is it? Or wicked horse of marble white. Take me on. No, is it or what is it? Or winged horse of marble white. Take me on a wicked flight. Something like that. The kid is standing back like this and he's putting the spell. And then Pegasus pops up and then he flies out. Somebody's putting Dungeons and Dragons. No, it's not. It was way before Dungeons and Dragons. What is it called? Wicked Knight? Oh, marble horse of or Marble White, Take Me on a Wicked Flight or something. I forgot. Luno. That's it. The horse's name is Luno. You are correct. That's a good one, Ernest. Thank you, sir. You remembered. Cartoon horse Luno. What's the name of it? That's what it was called? Luno the White Stallion? So that's what Remy is putting. Okay. Well, get the mic there. Fill me in on the whole thing. What is it again?
All right. It was a Terry Toons television series that aired in the mid 60s. It's centered on a little boy named Tim who had a toy horse Pegasus of marble white named Luno, who would come alive and whisk him off on adventures in far off lands when Tim said the words, "Oh, winged horse of marble white, take me on a magic flight."
There you go. Okay. Hey, dude, it's hard for me to get the words completely perfect, okay? But I just kind of remembered it. There you go. Where are you going to get that reference, huh? See, these are the things. Even you young people, you get to learn something about bad cartoon history. Let's see, what else do we have here? Luno the White Stallion, thank you. Sounds like something from the never-ending story with the white dragon. Yeah, it's a lot cheesier than that. Let's see. Irving Figueroa, read my past 3 messages. No. Rhino says, if you aren't reading what Irving is saying to you, you aren't missing anything. Okay, I guess so. Dude, there's so many coming in. I can't read them all. What do you want me to do, bro? It is what it is. I'm not seeing any. All I'm seeing is comments about others people's comments. So obviously it must not be important if you guys are just arguing amongst each other. Would you be happy with Dable hiring? I know you prefer a more experienced coach. Daniel, I've said it, that out of the non-experienced guys, Dable's the one guy that I understand hiring, and it makes some sense because he's been an offensive coordinator in 5 different places. He's been a QB coach. The guy's bounced around. He's developed a quarterback in Josh Allen. So he fits a lot of the criterias that I like, that he's bounced around a lot. So he's been able to build up a strong contact list. Okay. We're learning. No Rolodex. Strong contact list. And so maybe he can help develop an offensive staff since he's worked with all kinds of offensive coaches. And the fact that Cameron Wolf broke the story that it seems like the Dolphins want to keep their defensive staff together, then the method behind the madness now makes sense. That you're talking to a Dable and a Mike McDaniel, 2 guys that probably are really comfortable in finding offensive staffs, but maybe defensive staffs might be more of a challenge. So if Cameron Wolf's report is accurate, which Cameron doesn't pull crap out of his ass. If he's reporting it, it's because he got some behind it. So if you're keeping that defensive staff, then that's why I'm reading through the trees. The Dable thing, I told you 2 weeks ago, that's the guy they want. But now I've kind of come to the realization that I think McDaniel is the plan B if it doesn't happen. Because if you're keeping the defensive staff, then that means you want an offensive mind to complement the defensive staff. So then the guy comes in and he has to worry more about offense, and the defense is kind of taken care of. Okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a defensive consultant hired also in the offseason that will help out Josh and all the other guys to guide them a little bit if they need any advice and things like that, because it is a young staff overall. So I wouldn't even put that past them if they want to hire like an older defensive mind to be around to kind of help. Doesn't have to travel, but helps in the preparation throughout the week and is in the meetings and those kind of things. I would not be surprised if something like that happens. So I don't have a problem with Dable. Okay, what's the entertaining? What's going on now?
The greater good said this segment should be the Rolodex Roundup.
There you go. There you go. Big O, what's your best scenario for free agency and draft? Let's first find out, KJ. Once we know who has declared in free agency, who got tagged, what's available, and then on the draft side, we start to get a little bit more of the dirt. So give me some time here to kind of gather some information, because right now, look, I'll give you something in general. I need them to go out and acquire 1 or 2 linemen. Trade, not draft, trade or free agency. That I'll tell you. And I'm sure they're going to draft a running back in the first 3 rounds. Okay? I'm sure that now that somebody is no longer here, they're going to appreciate the running back a little bit more. I don't think it'll be a first rounder, but I think a second or third round running back, I think is very possible with the Miami Dolphins this year. Okay? Big O, why do you honestly think the Dolphins are being awkwardly patient on this coaching to extreme? Isn't 7 teams awkwardly patient? Only 1 team's made a hire, right? Or 2, right? No, or 2, right? Denver and Chicago, right? So you've got, what, 6 others left? It's pretty much most everybody's being patient. And you know why? There's no home run hire. For me, there's only one, and that's Caldwell. That's my home run hire. But outside of that, all the other guys aren't really viewed at as like, oh my God, this is the second coming. We've got to hire him. There isn't one of those kind of candidates this year. That's why I think it's kind of they're taking their time.
And like you said earlier too, I wonder if they see them as really not that much of a difference. Meaning Dayball and McDaniel,
maybe
to them,
maybe,
and they're saying, okay, if Dayball gets hired by the Giants, then we just go to McDaniel.
Yeah,
as the 1A, 1B, like you were talking a little bit about this morning.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. By the way, just have a little fun with this. Matt Eberflus kind of threw everybody off when he got hired by the Bears, right? And here's the other reason why. The guy's name is Eberflus. And Eberflus just sounds like a name that, like, the second you hear it, you're like, huh? Eberflus? What the hell is an Eberflus? And so you don't take anybody named Eberflus seriously. And you're like, holy crap, the first guy hired, his name is Eberflus? And it's funny because that's the guy that probably ends up winning a championship and going to the Hall of Fame. So 15 years from now, we hear the name Eberflus so much, it doesn't sound funny anymore. It doesn't sound awkward. It'll come with respect. It'll come with stature. It'll come with, it just royalty or something. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm thinking about that. I'm going, the whole world was shocked when they heard the name Eberflus. And it's just really mainly because his name is Eberflus. He's probably as good a coach as everybody else that's available out there. You know what I'm saying? So I found it so funny, the reaction from it. And if we're all honest with ourselves, it's just because he's got a funny name, bro. That's all it is. There's no difference between him and a whole bunch of the other coaches that are out there. That guy's worked his way up the ladder. He's been in the league for a while. I've heard of him. I know him. But it's just funny, the reaction to the name Eberflus. And to me, I almost felt like there is a comedic angle to it. And that's the reason why people were more like shocked than anything else. An Eberflus got a job? I can't believe they hired an Eberflus. Wow. Who would have a guy named Eberflus representing them? All these kind of ways that people were reacting to it, Just funny, man. I love it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Big O said Ryan Tannehill's not a real QB because he needs a real running game. Okay. No, I did not say that. See, that's the problem, Antoine. Some of you guys, you really don't understand English. So your translations are really weird, right? Like today, or actually it was last night, but I responded this morning to somebody. Okay. And so he tweets out, and it's kind of, silliness, just like this guy here, because they twist things because really, again, they have an agenda. Okay. And that's the problem. When you have an agenda, you're not really looking at it the way it's actually explained. Okay. So, one guy goes to me. Where is it here? Oh, wait a minute. My bad. Oh, here we go. So, one guy says Tua will never be as electric as Watson. It'll never happen. But having Tua on a rookie deal allows us to build around him with draft capital and cap space, assuming Greer finally hits on the O-line and O playmakers. After his recent O-line draft picks and Fuller debacle, I'm not so sure. So I tell him he was so electric last year, he won 4 games. So what am I telling the guy by saying that? Right? I'm telling the guy, just in case some of you out there don't understand English. Well, first of all, let me give you his reaction. Okay? He goes, I didn't say I liked empty stats. You said he wasn't electric. Okay? And I said, problem, my brother, is you don't understand English. I never said he wasn't electric. I just said he was so electric he won 4 games. You're probably not smart enough to actually understand what I'm saying. Intelligence is something lost in this world. Hang in there. And so my point is that he won 4 games. Doesn't matter how good Watson is, his team wasn't good. So if your team's not good enough, you're going to need help. Even if you're Deshaun Watson or you're Dan Marino, who won nothing. Okay? And I'm bringing this up a lot lately on the Marino thing, and I know it pisses off some Marino fans, and I'm a Marino fan. But I kind of want to remind you that the idea is to win a championship. The idea is to win as a team. You build an entire. Why did I pick San Francisco to punch the Rams in the mouth? The Rams obviously got the better quarterback. They got the more explosive offense, but it's not about style points. It's about winning. It's about building a team, not just a quarterback. And so I can't help some of you out there if you don't understand the game. And like this last guy, which I even forgot his name already, the whole Tannehill thing, he's not a real quarterback, not because he needs a running game. He's not a real quarterback because he can't read defenses. He can't elevate people, my brother. He never will be that guy. He can't come off the bench in Alabama and lead the team to a title because that's not who he is. That's what Tua is. That's the difference. But Tua's also not going to succeed, just like Marino, if you don't give him the running game, if you don't give him the offensive line, and if you don't give him the defense. Oh, and by the way, you got to have a coaching staff also. That would help too. Having no coaches on the offensive side of the ball, not necessarily a recipe for success. But again, if you're not too bright and you don't understand what I'm saying, just like the guy on Twitter, I can't help you, my man. I'm not here to teach you football. Okay? So if you don't understand the quarterback position, I can't help you. That's all. But, your agenda's your agenda. You think I'm saying running game. No. Running game is automatic. Offensive line is automatic. Coaching is automatic. But then you still, the part you miss is Ryan Tannehill has a running game, has an offensive line, has a defense, and has a coaching staff. Everything I want Tua to have. And he can't do it. Do you know why? Because he's not a real quarterback. Just like Lamar Jackson. They're not real quarterbacks. They're athletes playing the quarterback position. So you've got to design everything perfectly for them because intellectually, they don't have the IQ. Okay? Athletically, They don't have the gift of passing with anticipation, with accuracy, reading defenses, reacting quickly. These are things that can't happen in the brains of Ryan Tannehill and Lamar Jackson. Because when chaos happens, it becomes, boom, scatterbrain. So the only thing Lamar can do is run out of it. He's not going to beat you this way. And Ryan, he can't even run out of it because nobody can run like Lamar. So then what happens? 3 interceptions. Okay? That's what a lack of a real quarterback is, my man. So there's your football 101 education, whatever your name is. But that's all right. You know what? You probably need to tune into the show a lot. Just don't say any comments. That way you won't expose yourself. Just listen. You might learn a thing or two about football or sports, period, by the way. We'll teach you basketball. We'll teach you baseball. We'll teach you everything. We'll teach you a little boxing. We'll teach you even a little crypto if you want to. Yes, sir.
I wanted to check back in with you on JP on sports.
Oh, JP on bad sports takes.
Well, he's trying to clarify. He said my take may have been lost in translation. I may have put it out there wrong.
Oh, we misconstrued it like the athletes.
Everyone is saying that Tua sucks, but the team drafted just 4 QBs in the first round. 2 were Hall of Famers. So I think you might have picked it up in somewhere in the chat.
What, it was like a paragraph broken up into like 3 different texts?
No, they've been going back and forth. Everybody's been going back and forth. So I think
this is why I'd rather not look for a question.
So what he was saying was the team drafted just 4 quarterbacks in the first round. 2 have been Hall of Famers.
Yeah, but he said it wasn't that impressive in the same thing. I remember that. He was saying that it wasn't that impressive that the Dolphins have gotten it. He made it sound like that's common.
Okay.
And only the rapper is common. Greater Good says Tannehill has trouble reading defenses and lacks pocket presence. It's why he gets intercepted and sacked when he shouldn't. But Greater Good, you actually understand football. Our boy there, whoever the hell the guy is, doesn't know what football's all about. He really doesn't understand the sport. That's a huge difference. It's a real struggle if you actually don't. I think a lot of people really don't understand, to be quite honest. Look, I like a lot of the guys on local radio. I was listening this morning. Oh my God. I don't know how a station could be that lost. I mean, I kind of know because nobody really works at it. Nobody really has any kind of insight whatsoever on QAM. None. Nada. Nay. Dude, I was driving here, okay, and I went over to listen to Joe, and I love Joe. I got no issues, but boy, they have no clue on what's going on. Zero. And they had the Florio guy, who's another guy that's just absolutely lost. Wow. The crap that you hear on there, you can tell it's like incredibly uninformed, and it sounds just like a bunch of frustrated fans that are on the air. That's basically what it sounds like, because there's a lack of actual information. They know nothing. Not one show there knows anything that's going on in any of the teams. Forget just the Dolphins. They have no insight. Like, if you're a Dolphins fan, you will get nothing there. Okay? It's just mindless fan crap reaction behind a mic. Pretty amazing. I mean, I was laughing. It was funny how clueless it is on that station. It really is amazing. Frankie Fresco, thank you, sir. Says, Big O, you should be a judge for tonight's fights. Well, I think you actually need like a license, and you got to be a professional. You know what I'm saying, Frankie? I can't do. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't do something like that. That actually might be, that might be a fun thing to do. I mean, I've scored matches on my own. Me and my dad used to score all the matches when we were home. when we had to go to the High Lie or somewhere for a pay-per-view, forget about it. It was out the door. It was just like, who do you think won or whatever. But when we were at home and we were watching, on TV or HBO or Channel 10 or whatever it was back in the day, God, I was so lucky growing up early on because I watched so many of Sugar Ray Leonard's fights for free. I mean, it was just I was blessed at a time too where I could enjoy a lot of free great boxing. Anyway, so yeah, I would love to be a judge, bro. That would be fun to do it. But yeah, no, I don't have the requirements, my man. Let's see. Jimmy G is the biggest outlier. The way the 49ers are winning isn't common in the NFL. So for those who think that putting everything around Tua will get you the same results, you're delusional. I know, man, right? God, the Denver Broncos did it a couple years ago. I mean, it never happens. The Baltimore Ravens did it. Yeah, man. I tell you, it's really amazing, dude. You know? It's just it never happens. The Tampa Bay Bucks, it never happens, dude. Bob Greasy back in the day, it just never happens that that you put a quarterback that maybe the passing game isn't that dominant, but they go out and win the game. Yeah, no, I mean it's never happened throughout the history of time. You're right, sir. It's rare. I mean, it will happen once maybe in 100 years. You're right, sir. It just never happens. And you never really surround people, you know? Yeah, no, you're right, bro. Never. It's a shame. So, yeah, you're delusional if you think it'll happen. Because, what always happens, sir, is that the quarterback wins the Super Bowl with no team. No defense, no running game, no offensive line, half a coaching staff. I mean, all the teams are like that, right? Every Brady championship, all 7 of them, was all Brady. There was no Belichick and his staff, right? Romeo Crennel and Josh McDaniels and Bill O'Brien and any of the coaches over the last 20 years, none of them mattered, sir, right? None of the guys that ran the ball mattered, of course. None of the guys that caught the ball. Nobody that blocked. The fact that they had Dante Scarnecchia, maybe one of the 3 greatest offensive line coaches in the last 100 years of football. That it was all Tom Brady. You're right, sir. Of course. Come on. You're right, man. Joe Burrow will win the championship because he has, not a great defense and not a great offensive line. So he's got every ingredient possible to win absolutely everything. Because of course, Marino, he didn't have half a line, a running game, and a defense, and he won all those titles. Because all you need is a quarterback, sir, right? That's it. You don't need Tua. You need an elite quarterback, has to be one of the greatest of all time, so you can win nothing. Yeah, no, you're right, sir. You're right. Bro, we're not in 2012 anymore. Bro, it happened in 2016. You know what, man? Where's that guy at right now? Where's that guy? L. Kerf. There you go. See ya. When you learn about football, then you can come back here. Okay, it happened in 2016, just a couple of years ago with the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning couldn't throw for 10 yards. When you learn football, then you can come back. Okay? And go ahead, open up another email, send another stupid comment in. I'll crush it again like I just did because you're too stupid and you don't really know football. I'll educate you and then I'll block you. It's a beautiful thing, dude. I love it. See, there's consequences here. If you don't know your stuff, then I don't really need you to come back because what do you bring to the table? Stupidity is not something I search for. I don't think anybody searches for stupidity. You understand? So if you don't know the game, don't comment on the game. See, it's not 2002, it's 2016, which was just a couple of years ago. Denver proved it. And by the way, San Fran's proving it right now. And it's 2021, you moron. They don't need a strong quarterback. And they're in the NFC Championship game. Oh, and by the way, that same team was in the Super Bowl. So, what is it? Oh, I'm sorry. You must have meant it's 2022, not 2002. Man. Whew. There's a lack of intelligence like all over. It's an ignorance that's led by hate. You despise Tua so much. You are so convinced that he's a failure that you will create narratives that aren't even accurate. It's really amazing. Like that guy. Oh, this is in 2002. Well, dude, it's still happening to this day. If you can run the ball, you dominate on the lines, and you have a defense, you can win everything. You don't need to be that explosive on offense. The problem is some of you are stuck in this world where you need to get entertained with offense. And I want to be more than entertained. Okay? Because you know what would have been really entertaining? Watching Dan Marino throw for 5,000 yards and lift a Lombardi trophy. Okay? Because now, 30 years or 40 years later, a bunch of people have thrown for 5,000 yards. So, great feat, great accomplishment. What did it lead to? So, are we worried about style points or are we worried about winning the Super Bowl? Okay? So, even before I worry about Tua or Marino or any quarterback you want to acquire, can you get me 5 hogs up front that can punch people in the mouth? Can you get me 4 or 5 guys? I don't know, whatever the hell you want to have in the front of your D line, but I want 4 or 5 guys that can harass and ruin the day for their running game and their quarterback. Can I get that first? If I get that, then I don't need to be superstars in other places. I just need pretty good players. I can win with Phil McConkey and Ingram. I can win with Deebo Samuel just doing it. You understand? I can have certain limitations because I have the other parts of the game controlling what's going on. Nothing has changed in football. You control the line of scrimmages, you win the game. And that happens in 2022, 2002, 1982, and 1962. And it happens in the AFL, in college, in the UFL, in the USFL, in the NFL, in high school. It doesn't matter. Dominate the line of scrimmages, and everything somehow or another seems to fall into place. Learn the damn game, dude. Stop being blinded by whatever disdain, hatred, disbelief, whatever it is you have in Tua, and learn the game. Because a lot of the things that Tua needs, Marino needed. So what's your deal? Do you just need an entertaining team that puts up some points and loses in the first or second rounds? That's not what I'm looking for. So let me ask, so does Pat Riley ever build a team that can't play defense? No, right? I think for 25 years, now there have been some teams that weren't great defensively. I get it. But isn't that always there? Isn't that part of the culture? Right? Why? That's how you're going to win. What happened this week with Kansas City and the Bills? As good as Josh Allen was, and he was a star and a half, what did Josh Allen need? Did he need another receiver? No. Did he need another running back? No. Did he need to make another pass? No. Oh, he needed a defense. Oh, that's what he needed. Okay. You keep going down that path that you think the one guy gets you the title. No. The one guy needs to be a difference maker. But if you don't help that difference maker out, he'll be like Josh Allen sitting on the sidelines, like Dan Marino sitting on the sidelines, like Dan Fouts sitting on the sidelines. Doesn't matter what era you're in. Nothing's changed. Okay? It's all the same. You can have all the offense in the world you want, and you can be the greatest show on turf. And here comes New England, and they punch you in the mouth, and they win the game, and they are not the greatest show on turf, but they were the greatest show on the defensive line. That's what wins the game. The most high-powered offense we have ever seen got beaten by the Patriots. The game hasn't changed. And it's about building a team. Some of you keep losing sight of that because we haven't replaced Marino. And then you're now convinced that Tua isn't the guy. So now you're completely focused on that, thinking that that's your main problem. And if you watched the team last year, there were a slew of other issues that if you improve all of those, Tua looks a hell of a lot better than what he did already. It was a miracle Tua only broke his ribs or fractured his ribs and his finger just once. That's the part that people just don't understand. But you continue your disdain, your lack of belief, whatever adjective you want to use to describe your negative attitude towards the quarterback. But learn the game and understand that the problems that the franchise has are way deeper than the quarterback. And in fact, if you fix those problems, you'll realize the quarterback isn't the problem. What happened now?
There's JP in the chat said Josh Allen needed to be better than Mahomes. It came down to a coin toss. Whoever won the coin toss was going to win the game. It doesn't just come down to Josh Allen being better than Mahomes. They're going toe to toe.
Okay. All right. Well, at least I ended the show with something positive. No more JP. All right. I mean, really, it's just to have stupidity on the board is really just all you have is a guy that's just, littering the chat board with stupidity and ignorance. So now we know that, Josh Allen had to be better than Mahomes. What a moron. Like, that's just right there. That's just JP, brother, you're an embarrassment. You're the guy we used to laugh at the park. You're the guy that we killed at the park. Oh my God. You would have, JP, you would have gone crying home in Little Havana almost every day. We would have annihilated you in Little Havana for your lack of knowledge and stupidity. Josh Allen had to be better. Yeah, so I guess it was Marino's fault the entire career. They didn't win a Super Bowl because of Marino. Right, no. According to JP's philosophy, Marino was the reason why the Dolphins didn't win a Super Bowl.
He wasn't better than all the other quarterbacks.
That's exactly it. What was he doing, bro?
They're all in the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah, bro. Come on. You had to be better than Jim Kelly. Yeah, forget the fact that Jim Kelly had an all-time great defense, but no, he has to be better than Jim Kelly. According to JP, okay, Dan Marino sucks, according to JP, right there. Dan Marino wasn't good enough in his career. It was all his fault. According to JP and his logic, Josh Allen wasn't good enough to beat Pat Mahomes. Because, of course, the defense and special teams and the defensive coaching staff, they have no responsibilities whatsoever. So guys like JP are the guys that tell you, oh, no, Marino sucks. He never won a championship. Oh, really? Oh, okay. So it's all Marino's fault. Okay. I love that. I do run into those guys every once in a while. Like, Marino just put up a bunch of stats. He's nothing. Okay, dude. All right, bro. Knock yourselves out. Whatever. I mean, how do you win with that?
So I'm looking at the stats from last game, okay? Josh Allen was 27 of 37, 329 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
It was awesome, dude.
Mahomes, more yards, 33 of 44 for 378, 3 touchdowns.
So Allen was better.
Yeah.
It's just stupid, bro. It's just that there are people out there that really don't understand sports. There are people that really don't understand the quarterback position. Oh, my God. It's kind of what I was listening to this morning. It's like, whoa, wow. It's just really stupid stuff, man. Richard Ray, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Big O, you're 100% right. The hit that Tua took when he fractured his ribs was one of the cleanest ever I've seen on a QB in the NFL. Oh, yeah. No, Jesse Davis, I believe if you go back to that highlight, you snap and Jesse turns around. I don't know where he got it, but he had this red carpet and he rolled it out and it rolled right to Tua. And you saw the end run right along the red carpet and just nailed Tua. I mean, it was a skill. You got to look at it. Go back and look at that highlight. It's a snap, and the man turns around. I don't know where he pulled the rug out of it, but then he went like that, and it just opened up straight right to the quarterback. And the defensive end just went right across the red carpet. It was sweet. And I think Kenny Walker also announced it. Okay? Now on the red carpet, fracturing Tua's ribs.
I do have to correct one thing.
Oh, okay.
It's the Miami Dolphins, orange carpet.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Apologies. It was an orange carpet, okay? I'm kind of colorblind. I was just guessing. It looked dark to me. I figured it was red. It was orange. I'm sorry.
Stephen Ross sent it down.
There you go. So now we know Jesse Davis has another skill that we can use because he knows how to roll out the orange carpet. About that. Jamie Lobo, thank you, sir, for a little love on the super chat. That is very nice of you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Let me make sure there's nothing on Cash App and Venmo before I go. I hate when people send something in and it comes in after. I mean, we appreciate it whenever it comes in, okay? At 3 a.m, we appreciate it. But it was during the show and they send it in. I got it late and I don't see it. And then I have to wait till the next day to give them love or something like that for supporting us. But thank you all out there, man. I appreciate it. Yes. What do we have now?
No, I'm saying we're a little behind. Like C. Dolan, some of them were like, they blocked JP on Monday.
Oh, really? Wow. We're 5 days behind. Holy crap.
I guess we're a little too nice on the chat.
Wow. Okay. But now there's a JP on sports.
That is the JP on bad takes.
Right.
He wanted to make sure he wasn't the one getting blocked when you blocked JP. That's why I started giggling over here because JP on sports jumped in and was like, not me.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that. But okay, no, JP. It was only JP, not JP on bad sports takes. You're kind of on double secret probation too, but we'll let you slide. Okay. We'll let you slide.
It looks like he's already looking at changing his name.
Yeah, no, it's just the problem is some people are just trolls also. And so some people might not even be that dumb, but they just want to be trolls. And then, it's not like, well, we need really them to be here. You know what I'm saying? All right, we are out of here. We will see you all on Monday. We're off for the next couple of days. I'll see some of you tonight over at Hialeah Park for the fights. Sean and I will be out there having some fun. So if you see me, please say hi. Would love to meet you guys out there. Yes, Sean?
No, I was going to say, we're off air. We're not off.
Oh, no, yeah. Best ofs are coming on for sure over the weekend.
And we got a lot of work. You're doing a lot of things behind the scenes on Saturday.
True. That's right. That's right. There.
I don't want everybody to think that like we're back there like
no, yeah.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday hitting. We got the chair up and I
Well,
got the Royal Rumble this weekend too.
Oh, you do? Nice.
Yeah, wrestling.
Nice. I'll kick back with a little Edge energy drink and a little vodka tonight when I get home. I am going to chill, dude. I'm telling you, man. I gotta chill. All right, you all. I appreciate everybody out there. If you missed it, Ira Winderman was on with us with the Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat report, and come on out here to Acura Pembroke Pines. We got a great selection of cars, whether it's new or certified pre-owned vehicles. Come on out here. Make sure you tell them that Big O sent you. So we thank Ira. We thank Richard Williams, the guitarist for the band Kansas. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Kansas will be performing tomorrow night at Magic City, and the Marshall Tucker Band will be opening up for them. So I'm looking forward. It's going to be a great concert, man, to be watching Marshall Tucker and Kansas. That is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Manny Navarro also from our Caneswear Miami Hurricanes report, and Omar Kelly in our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report. All of those will be podcasted. All of those will be on video on YouTube. We thank all of you out there for supporting us. Please smash the hell out of the like button. It is very, very important that you guys smash the like button, man. We need more likes to get the algorithms going, man. Appreciate it. Greater Good says JP on sports is a good guy. All right. I will take your word for it, Greater Good. If JP on sports is a good guy, then I like that. We got to teach him sports, but we like him. Okay. The other JP, he go. Yeah. He go. I think sometimes these folks never really believe that it's going to happen to them until it happens to them. And then the bats and the ghosts start showing up all over the chat board. What's this? Mode 9091 Club New Psychedelic Furs back in the day. Superb show. I was there for that. Why did you bring that up? The hell is that? But I was there for that Psych Furs show. I've seen them like 40 times, bro. I love the Psychedelic Furs. In fact, I can't wait for them to come. The last time they came, I didn't buy the tickets because I thought I would be able to get a ticket, and it sold out. And it was like right after the pandemic stopped. So it was like there was desperation. People wanted to get out. And I could not get a ticket. I was so bummed. I know I've seen them, 100 times, but yeah, I can't wait to see him again. I'm looking forward to it. JP on Sports says, I'll prove myself, Big O, LOL. You're good, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. Barney says, Seattle's a liberal nightmare. Seattle's a disgusting place. Seattle, Portland, California, they have some of the worst leadership in our country. That's the problem there. Anyway, we're out of here. We'll see you guys Monday. Monday. I'll see some of you guys tonight at the boxing event. Maybe I'll run into some of you at the Kansas Marshall Tucker Band concert. If you're going to the Magic City, maybe I'll see you there. So I might see you at Hialeah Park today. Magic City when I rock tomorrow. Looking forward to going to a rock show, man. Can't wait. Love it. All right. And thank you all out there. We thank, of course, Larry Schlossberg and all the fantastic people out here at Craig Zinn's Acura Pembroke Pines. Mr. Zinn, of course, Pat Nasto, Tony Stampone, everybody out there that always has been very supportive of our show. We love you all out there. We will see you on Monday. Same time, same place, same bat channel. Although over the weekend, some stuff will drop. See you later.
This is the Big O Show.
Sports fans love a place with great food, cold drinks, and TVs everywhere. That's why sports fans love Sports Grill and their 7 amazing locations. Check out the Bird Road location at 11481 Southwest 40th Street in the back corner of the West Bird Shopping Center. Sports Grill is also now offering some great employment opportunities. All kinds of positions are now available from kitchen to hosting. Call for more information at 305-485-8845. From wraps to salads to amazingly delicious specialty dishes, Sports Grill is the home to the legendary special grilled wings. Since 1987, Sports Grill, good food, good drink, and good friends.
It's the Big O Show.